yes. Yo, 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 what's the word, y'all? We're back. The boys are back. It always
Well,
feels longer than a week. It feels
yeah.
like we should be, pay us money to do this daily, do 5 shows a week. It does feel like a while. I don't know if that's because, we've had a dry spell with fights, but that's about to stop. But you are tuned in to Knock 'em Out the Box, episode number 114.
114.
My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic, left, right, left kid, Mr. Brendan Long. What's the
Yo,
word,
yo.
kid?
Trying to stay warm, bro.
I hear you, my brother.
I, I had
The
I had
hawk is out.
two baseboards went in my house the other day. I guess there was air in the lines. I had to
Yeah, man.
bleeding out these baseboards. I'm
Yeah,
like a fucking Joe the plumber over here.
right. You are. You're like,
Um,
yeah.
I'm over here watching YouTube videos. You know, it's
You're
all
like
good.
Fred. Did I
Uh,
ever tell you about my man Paulie? So you know when you say like you just did, I'm like Joe the plumber.
right.
So he didn't know that when people did that, it was a reference to something.
He thought
Like
that there was.
he would just make things up that didn't mean anything. Like he would think you just made that up for some reason. Like you
He
went
didn't understand like an idiom or
like
like,
I'm Paulie the trash can. So he used to go, Vin, please. You're like Freddie the Mo. You're like Jimmy the Hat. Freddie the Mo. You're like Jimmy. You're like Freddie the Mo. You're like Jimmy the Hat, and that like meant you were something. Like say you did something. Like
I,
no, I
I
just slapped the shit out of someone and then
right.
calm down. Then you're like Freddie the Mo. You're like Jimmy the Hat.
We used to I used to work with this guy,
And we still don't know, by
and
the
he would
way.
he would say shit like, he said, guys, this is like going down the tubes.
Sure. He would
All right,
butcher things like that.
this country, it's going down the lines, you know,
Sure. That's
or
very
yeah.
that's very Italian guy from Italy, Puerto
Oh,
Rican guy from Puerto Rico,
right.
but
This is
Paulie's
this,
from here.
this is an Italian guy
Yeah.
from the
From Italy.
Bronx. No,
Oh,
from
from
the
here.
Bronx, but
Okay.
first generation.
Okay.
So he'd say stuff like, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right?
Sure. Oh, I don't
They'd
want
be
to
like,
even know what he
you
would say.
you you could lead a horse to water, but I wouldn't look it in its mouth.
Look him in his mouth. You would
I mean,
mix things.
yeah, mix things up
Rest in
like
peace, Papa Andy, when I would torture him. You'd be like, Beanie, man, stop making the fun out of me, man. Stop making the fun out of me, man.
my sister-in-law has a very thick
Hmm.
New Yorican accent.
Okay.
Ki-
Papa
ki-
Andy was from the island, so it was a little bit
well,
more.
Kim's just from Red Hook,
Yeah.
so
Same thing.
same thing. So she would, like if there's a candle burning,
Sure.
so I lick my fingers and I put it
Then do
out.
that thing. Yeah, that thing scares
You
me,
know,
that gimmick. Yeah.
so I did it because she's like, "Could you put that out?" And I didn't think.
Sure.
I just went, "Oh my God, you're gonna get electrocuted if you do that."
Yeah, she's right. She's right. You can. She's right, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, we're back. It's just me and B. We just talked for like almost 2 hours, which if we recorded it, it was probably a pretty brilliant podcast.
Maybe.
We talked a lot
Well,
of shit about some people we hate. We talked shit about people we
we
love. We
live.
talked about plans. We talked about life, which could be another fucking podcast in and of
Maybe.
itself.
Maybe,
Um,
maybe we fire up a Patreon one of these days, and
sure.
it's just it's knock 'em out the box, the offshoot,
So
son of knock 'em out the box.
so my friend B thinks we don't have a lot to talk about. I, on the other hand, think there's a lot of news, which may not mean there's a lot to talk about. Hey guys, we're breaking the spell that has been here since it's basically the winter slump that you have because fighters don't want to be in camp during the holidays unless they're not Christian. You know what I mean? So you might see some Muslim fighters, but then their opponent would have to be Muslim too.
Right.
There's it's usually mid December to late January, which we're at now. So we're gonna get into cards. There's a Thursday card that B didn't even put on there. That's a good thing, because we like getting to see some potential prospects. Um, we got the monster coming back. We got Diego Pacheco. We got a good card from the UK coming up, but we're gonna get to all that later. We're gonna do previews and we're gonna talk about all that. There's no Billy Betts because Billy's under the weather and he hasn't gotten any sleep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start off. Look, so I'm gonna throw things like we always do. I hike the ball, I throw it at B, and we'll see if he fumbles it, if he takes it to the house, or if he says I don't give a fuck about these two bozos fighting. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia have now jointly asked the court to pause their lawsuit proceedings for 90 days due to a tentative settlement, as they're reportedly closing in on a deal for a rematch this year. We know all of that has pretty much happened. So I'm safe. I feel safe saying that's going to be thrown out. To me,
Yeah, I think
I don't.
Haney's going to end it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
if he
it.
wants to get big bags, hey yo, then that's the best thing to do. Um, Eddie Hearn has revealed that a Matchroom Golden Boy, the 5 versus 5 they've been talking about, is being planned for June in the U.S. Both guys have good guys. Matchroom and Golden Boy have some good guys. There's some good matchups there that are already floating around. B and I can
Did he say where?
no. I'm wondering if Oscar would be okay with bringing it to the East Coast, but I'm gonna say L.A. That's what I'm gonna
Hmm.
say. That's what I'm not. I'm gonna say
Like
no
like
Vegas.
it'd be dope if the what is the Vin? What's the outdoor place?
Oh, that we love, and they keep changing the name, and we hate the name. So
Crypto,
I keep calling it the Home Depot Center.
Home Depot. Yeah,
But
what
no,
is
it went to crypto to something crazy now, like
or
Brendan
st-
Long
or a state is
Healthcare.
or a Staples Center crypto?
It's no, I think it's like health is in the word now.
I'm gonna
It's like
Google it.
it's like blah 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 healthcare da 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 center. I'm gonna talk this one because
Yeah.
this really gets this guy's goat. This next bit of news while he's looking. Chris Eubank again.
Dignity Health Sports Park.
Yeah, man, I ain't saying that. It's the Home Depot
The
Center.
Home Depot Center.
The real goon shit that happened there, it was called that. Like Lucas Matisse, John
Yeah.
Molina, like those fights, uh G flying people's heads, that was all
I hope they
but
get if they're gonna do it out west, I hope they get it there. I like that.
I'm with you.
That
I'm with
outdoors.
you. B's gonna love this bit of news. And then he's gonna love the part that's new. There's a new turn to this.
Mm.
Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Ben is now a done deal and will take place in April in London. It's been confirmed. The fight
I
will
don't
headline the
care.
world's first Ring Magazine card, which will have a pay-per-view price of $20 and be named after new game Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Here's what B's going to love. Two-fight deal with a guaranteed rematch clause regardless of the result. First fight set for April, rematch due to happen before the end of 2025. So, we're not going to be able to see or talk about either of these guys fighting another good or elite guy until 2026. And B, tell me when to stop and when this becomes liable. I saw a picture today of Conor Ben, and he looks like an 89 Ultimate Warrior. Now, I don't know when that starts to
No.
become, I'm saying
You
something
just
crazy. I
no,
just think that he looks jacked.
you made a comparison of a muscular wrestler.
Correct.
that-
There's something wild with the rematch clause too.
So what
Um,
if someone gets hurt? Like what if it's a total like domination? What if it's a let's
bro,
hypothetically
saying regardless of the result is wide. Hurt, you can't.
No, I mean like
Excuse me,
what
I
I
said
mean
the
is
word
like
wide. I meant wild.
so they're gonna fight you said in April?
April, done deal
All right,
over
so
there.
let's hypothetically say the rematch they'd like to do in December,
December, that
right?
sounds fair to me.
All right.
November, December,
Okay, let's just hypothetically say Chris Eubank beats the balls
dog shit out of him.
or out of Connor Ben.
Yeah,
Beats the
within four.
fucking balls out.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
and it's
destroys him.
just wow, the size
Yes, it's
disparity
the size disparity is
just
going to look crazy regardless of what happens.
and the
We
skill
agree
level
there,
in
right?
this. You're right. And so let's just all right, I make all the examples possible.
Hold on, let me make one more, guys.
Sure.
Just for the record, something B has had a strong opinion about. This is literally the same size difference as Canelo Bud Crawford.
And Bud Crawford, right.
Identical.
Right. So let me just finish my thought.
Please.
He he beats the brakes off of Conor Ben, or
Washes.
or the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
It's not close. No one's interested in a rematch. Now, does the fighter, now this is just me pontificating, does the fighter like what would the value in Conor Ben or Chris Eubank if they lose dramatically? And not I'm not even talking about a knockout. You could get knocked out and say, you know what? Let's run it back. I got
Yeah, I
clipped.
got sparked out. I thought I could do some good things in
Right.
there, but I got caught.
No, total dominant.
Yes.
loss.
Dog walk.
Fighters don't often go back to that opponent.
When Errol Spence spoke of running it back with Bud, we were like, every conceivable way that this could be dumb, this is dumb. Now we know what
And
happened. The
and
great
and
Pazini picked it, but that's we'll touch on that in a minute. We'll
yeah,
get there.
that's
We'll get there.
down the lines.
All right, so let's say what you said is accurate. Someone gets dog walked in April.
Right.
There's
Why?
no reason to run it back.
Mm-mm.
There's none.
So are they just leaving that? Is it phrased a certain way that you and I are looking deeper into, or is it just leaving it open ended, saying, "Hey, uh, if you guys want, you can fight again."
I think they're leaving it open ended. I don't know why, but that's what I think. I don't think you and I are fucking up or dropping the ball seeing it. But if it's nip and tuck and we keep asking our UK guys, our list, our supporters, like how big is this over there, et cetera, et cetera. I saw someone say it's the fourth biggest fight over there that could be made, that can possibly be made.
But
You
then
obviously,
we've also seen people say like, it's not what it was,
yeah, yeah,
this.
yeah,
So I think
yeah.
I think the people saying it's not what it was are probably more along the lines of boxing purists. And
These
the
guys they're not the same size, Brendan. They're
no,
the exact same size. Who wins?
I'm if they're the exact same size,
Correct, correct, correct. From
uh,
birth. I don't mean like weight
yes,
cutting.
Eubank
I mean
Jr.
these
I
guys.
think Eubank Jr. is a better fighter.
So if they're both naturally 147 pounders,
I
because
would pick
Eubank Jr.,
Eubank
that's who you
Jr.
pick. Okay, interesting, interesting, interesting. I would pick
But
Connor Ben.
Connor Ben on
So
roids.
you're
Wait,
definitely
Connor Ben on
the guy that
enhanced
we said
eggs.
on this show that we thought was good, and then obviously got clean and fought twice in the
Well,
U.S. And we said,
but
what the
that was
fuck
the whole
happened?
thing with me with Connor Ben was I saw Connor Ben in like his first 10 fights, maybe 8 fights, and I was like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then we were like, wow, he really improved.
yeah.
He's a jumping bean, this guy. He's got tons of energy. He's all over the place. Wow, and he's really come into his own in terms of like his man strength with power and this, that, and
Sure,
third.
sure. And then we found out
He
why.
is the most, and I've said it on the show, and I'll
You
say it
have.
again. He is the most prime example of before and after PEDs or whatever the eggs, right? He said it was eggs.
Yes. So that joke, so I said I saw Conor Benn. He looks like the Ultimate Warrior. I say there were 5,000 comments. 4,999 of them either had a picture of an egg,
Right.
a reference to an egg, or a
Yeah.
really witty thing about an egg.
Bad eggs. Right.
Also, in this picture, that weird
Where is this picture?
slicked back bouffant is gone, and he has a Caesar again. You
Mm.
want me to find it, B?
No,
Because
no,
it
no.
might
Just
be difficult. It might be difficult. Unlike you'd think I saw it on IG, I saw it on the Twitters.
ooh.
Right. So, B, you don't. So, are you okay with the first fight?
Uh, I don't love it, but they're gonna make it, so it is what it is. I think both of these guys are kind of past it. I don't I don't really care,
You can't think Conor Ben's past it. You just think he's not the guy he was on gas.
which essentially is past it. You know, if
I
he
have
was,
it. I already have
I
the
see the
picture.
picture. I see the picture. Stay next to a heavy bag.
Yep. But do you notice his hair? He's got a Caesar again. So he
Yeah,
already, because he listens to this show, he cut
sure.
off the B, put that on our story
I'll
and
put it up.
somehow put something fun.
I'll put something fun on there.
Just eggs or something.
Yeah.
It's just an egg yolk. You guys, we'll
So
post that.
but by past it, I don't mean like Father Time got him. What I mean is his window was when he was on eggs,
Uh-huh.
and now he's off eggs, and he's just not the guy who he,
And his look like a jag, just another guy
just
in the
another
two
guy.
fights where he was not on it.
Right. He was,
Um,
he put the omelet down, and that's it.
he just turned 28.
Okay.
So you know my theory, not yours, but mine is the 28 to 32 is the perfect
Hmm.
mix of your IQ's hitting its peak, and so is your physicality.
Physicality.
Yeah, 23, you're better than your 28 physically, but you haven't done enough
Right.
intellectually in the ring, unless you're Salvador Sanchez, But um I have I think. on the air, we talked about Eubank being way older than we think he is. Yeah, he's already 35.
He's
He's gonna be
35. Yeah,
36 this year.
that could be
Never,
that could be interesting.
never really.
You know,
Yeah, agreed. But B, if you're him,
I mean,
this is
he
a.
fought Billy Joe Saunders like 11 years ago, right?
That's what I'm getting to. If you're him, this fight's smart. You're 35. You couldn't crack the elite. So the guys who are floating around at your real weight that are really at that weight right now will probably fly your head. Who knocked him out that couldn't punch? The Smith brother with the
Hmm.
gray hair?
Yeah,
And he legit can't punch. That's not us being, that's not hyperbole. That's because there's, what are the, five brothers? He's the one who fought Canelo, or didn't two
yeah,
of those brothers
yes.
fight Canelo?
Two of them fought Canelo.
But the one
Liam.
that did
This
pretty
is
good,
Liam.
Liam did pretty good
He
until
did.
Canelo's power, but he
Yeah.
boxed well. He
He's got
can't
he's got
punch.
he's got 20 knockouts.
How many fights?
You're thinking of Paul Smith can't punch. That was the one who fought at super middle.
Who flew Chris Eubank head?
Liam Smith.
I definitely was shocked by that.
I
So
was
that means
too.
I don't
But
think he can punch.
he's got 20 knockouts though.
Out of how many fights against what kind of opposition? I mean, I only look at it
37
against
fights.
guys.
37 fights, but
All
still.
right, so you're hovering around 50%. That's not a. Is that a puncher? Or that's a guy who got a little crack in his hands and keep you honest.
He stopped Anthony Fowler, Jesse Vargas. I mean
Jesse Vargas was really small.
Sam
Jesse,
Eggington, also small.
all
Uh,
right, fair
he
enough.
yeah,
Point made. Point made. Point made. That to me, he's got keep you honest power. Not
correct.
like okay.
It's not one
And
punch.
when a guy with keep you honest power cracks you perfect shot,
Well,
you're
there was
going
like an
down
elbow involved in that too a little bit when they
a
slowed it down.
little bit, a little bit.
He got stopped in the rematch, remember?
Correct. But
Yeah.
yeah. So Liam Smith did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that the last fight that he had was against that kid Camille Zarameta, who like fought everyone. He stopped him for some trinket. But you got to go back. I don't know how old Matt Karabov was 6 years ago. Matt Karabov could fight a little bit at one point.
Yeah,
That's
he
an
was good.
okay win. A James DeGale's like an okay win at that point.
That's probably his best win.
Agreed. He lost to Groves. That's a step up fight.
Right.
Um, he lost to Billy Joe Saunders. That was a step up fight.
He beat Arthur Abraham, I'm reading. I don't
When he
even
was
remember
old,
that.
Arthur
Old.
Abraham. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick
Um,
Blackwell, Spike O'Sullivan, you
yeah,
know.
that's an okay domestic win, not a
Right.
good
Yeah,
world
yeah,
win.
yeah. I'm just reading
No,
off.
no, I know what you're doing,
Yeah.
but what I'm getting at
Damn,
is
Billy Joe Saunders. Yeah, man.
what I'm getting. I know that
10,
was like
10 plus.
fucking 10 plus years ago. What I'm getting at is B, when he steps up, right, he gets beat. So
Mhm.
why not fight a smaller guy for
Yeah.
a huge bag that you really do in real life dislike? Your fathers fought. Your fathers are both legends. There's a story there, and it's going to be where you come from. And there's a very low percentage of you getting sparked out. I got that much smaller,
Right.
unless he can find a new breed of eggs and
New breed.
chickens. There might be a new breed of chickens being made over there in the UK. Does anyone know anything about that? This fucking crotchety Bob Arum is still. I like what you do it pretty good, but his promos are still funny. I don't like Bob, but when he's cranky, they're still funny. So I can't do the impression, but I'm just gonna do it. Bob Arum on Teofimo Lopez. The question is, well, what won't he turn down? That's the first bar. Where is his head at? Who does he want to fight? We gave him a whole group of fighters. And it's not like he's coming off great performances, which is actually true. He looked terrible with Jermaine, meaning with Jermaine Ortiz, and people thought he lost that fight. I agree. Although I thought he won it. And then he fought Steve Claggett, B's man, who's not
Dragon.
Superman, and he wasn't able to destroy Claggett. Absolutely true. Never had him hurt. This Claggett was fucking in it the whole time. Was not winning, but was in there and
Sure.
was not quitting. So again, I don't know what effort he is willing to put in anymore. And I don't know where his head is at. But he'll come around and tell us he wants to fight. And if we can arrange it, we'll do it. Okay. We're going to get on to Teofimo No Diddy in another minute about something else that's totally, completely off the wall and far fetched, which means none of these guys are having talks with each other and they're
Mm-mm.
completely not on the same page. Eddie Hearn has named a series of possible options that could be considered for Anthony Joshua's next fight if Fury's retirement is sincere. Martin Bacoli, Dillian White. This one is a mind eraser to me. Deontay Wilder. The winner of Big Bang Zhang, Ajit Kabayel, or the winner of Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker. Now, since that came out, Turki Al Sheikh has declared that he intends to make Joshua versus Wilder. I want to see Joshua versus Wilder. And now, if Tyson is not available, why not Joshua and Wilder? I said on this air, he has no one who loves him. It's very clear to me. And didn't the wife say, I don't want to, didn't the wife say he did something bad and they got divorced? Or am I
Yeah.
making, right? So the wife said that he laid hands on her and they're split or getting a divorce. I don't know if he feels like he needs the money. That guy is fucking hooked. Lost four out of his last five. All but one of them were by thrashing. Parker
Mhm.
just beat him up, but he
Yeah.
didn't knock him out. Big Bang Zhang parked him and he looked dead. Fury killed him. He
Yeah.
looked dead there. Lost four out of five. He's had to make, if you're talking career, I'd say he's made 300 million. If you're talking the last five fights, I'm gonna say he's made 200 million. All three Fury fights,
Mhm.
Big Bang Zhang and Joseph Parker, I'd say he made, I'm not gonna include the Hellenius in between one.
Yeah, he's paid. Why does he keep doing this? It's probably just chasing a bag.
Yeah, you and I
Um,
have
he didn't
where
take
we
any damage in the first part of his career.
none, zero. For 40 plus fights, he wasn't damaged. He was totally
Right.
correct. And then just got battered over five.
Right.
Look, I think wherever you think, meaning the listeners, or wherever I think, or wherever Brendan thinks Anthony Joshua is right now, this 2025 version of Anthony Joshua, whatever you think that is, puts this guy in a fucking body bag.
I don't disagree.
Okay. I thought
I,
you
I,
might.
no, I,
I thought you might say AJ's chinny, and that's all.
no, I was
That's
going to
all.
say the only hope, and we've said this now in,
Yeah, five in a row, right?
haven't we?
Yeah, I think
Haven't
five
we
or
like,
six.
we've given him the benefit of the doubt and said the one thing he does well is the 1-2.
I said anyone would mop him, and
Right.
Hellenius did it, and I was
Okay.
right. And then four more came where they just dog walked.
Right. But what we said, and all right. So Hellenius. All right.
Yes, Robert Hellenius.
Okay. That's the only one.
You were there, weren't
I
you?
was there. Yeah. It sounded
Yeah,
like a fucking shotgun went off.
yeah, it did.
Um,
But I thought Hellenius
the
would win. That he was that shot.
if AJ's reflexes are that gone, there is a puncher's chance, right? That's it. That's the only thing. We can't say one other
No,
tangible thing that he
no.
could do to beat AJ except just a puncher's chance. So I don't. I think AJ can avoid that right hand. I don't think it goes well for Wilder. I don't think. I think that.
Let me ask a follow up.
I think boxing does this with heavyweights. They live in the past, so they'll make a fight. It'll garner attention. It'll be a hell of a lead up. Wilder will cut promos, scream and yell, bomb squad, whatever, all the shit he does. You
Okay,
and
so
I'll you and
you
I'll cringe. They'll make the fight. It'll sell. Wilder gets blown out.
so you
The
answered my follow up. My follow up. Will people care? And by people, I don't mean you and I. So
people
you
will
think
care.
this makes sense? There's a bag there. It'll happen. It'll be over there.
Hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I think
I
it's a no brainer to have it over there. I
I
don't think America cares about Wilder anymore.
no, I agree. I think it might be too expensive to have it for what they want to get paid to have it here too.
And what he brings to the table, which is four four beatings in the last five fights.
Right. I think if they did have it here though, it might be here in New York. Might have it at like,
Barclays
Barclays
or the
Center.
Garden.
Yeah.
You
But
go to that card, they'd stack it probably, most likely.
probably.
This is just interesting fight.
Hmm.
Luis Neri um, versus Kayano Suzuki Kameda is set for February 22nd in
Hmm.
Mexico. It's an interesting fight.
Yeah.
Two capable guys. You're not talking about undefeated guys who are going to beat Inoue, but guys who can fight. That might be a fucking war breaks out there. Pazzi, the great Pazzini, the time. Sebastian Fundora, Errol Spence is now not happening.
Not
And
happening.
Fundora is seeking a new opponent for his next fight with Charles Conwell as one option. Our guy, I think he dog walks Sebastian Fundora.
Charles Conwell teaches Fundora a lesson.
Gives him a lesson. I say
Bad.
that
So,
name changes within 7 to 14 days when they make the announcement. Someone smart is going to be, this is all wrong for us.
or someone smart goes, this is all right for Charles Conwell. We got to get the push behind him now.
I don't know how they do that because Fundora is the bigger name. And I'm not saying he's a
He is,
name,
but
he's the
but
bigger
you
name.
but well, we doubted him against Tim Tszyu and he won. Granted, there was a cut, but he won. He's such a they
That's an asterisk fight for me and will always be. Even if Tim ends up getting packed up and not being who we once thought he was, that's that he was flying his head until
correct.
that and was going to win.
But I'm talking about right now, promoter hat. Do to your point, Fundora is so vulnerable. What do we put behind him? Right? He's a tweener in terms of weight.
Correct.
If he moves up, the guys will start to catch up in size. His advantage is size.
Correct.
He fights small for a big guy, so his style doesn't lend itself, these big, tall, lanky guys, to a lot of durability. So every boxing career is a very small, short window.
Of
I mean,
course.
unless you're like superstar Manny Pacquiao, Floyd in recent years, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Roy,
Yeah.
where Roy just like ruled a decade, the
Yeah.
entire 90s,
Of course.
which is unusual.
Into the 2000s and late 80s into the early 2000s. It was closer to 15 years.
No, can you hear me?
I lost you for a second,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Um, is unusual. Um, does Conwell marketability wise, promoter hat, right? Marketability wise, is Charles Conwell an American champion? Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Can we market an American champion at 154 pounds in a hot division right now? You got guys like Crawford, right? And then you got the Eastern Euro guys, Madrimov, okay, who's fighting February 22nd.
Boachuk.
Boachuk, who just fought, okay, and Tim Tszyu, maybe, and Murtalazayev,
And
okay,
Mortalazayev is a goon.
right. But what I'm saying is, Tim, let's just speak in terms of marketability right now.
Yeah, you're talking promoter
Tim
hat.
Tim Tszyu got his head flown,
He did.
lost two in a row. Got to get to the back of the line, okay. We do we set this thing up with Charles Conwell? Do we turn Charles Conwell into what we thought Errol Spence would be, or what Errol Spence was? Not a big talker, okay, a humble American potential champion. What do you think?
But how do you turn him into that before a Fundora fight?
No, you got to make the Fundora fight. The Fundora fight is the launching pad. That's what brings him into the
What
lexicon.
I'm telling
A
you,
dominant steamrolling win over Fundora.
I'm telling you, the PBC is like right now, the matchmakers are like, we want no fucking parts of him. Why did you even fucking say his name? Who said it? That's what's going on at PBC headquarters. Who the fuck told someone that that's who we're thinking of? Because now it's out there and people are salivating that know Charles Conwell. Now, I don't mean the fans at
Yeah.
large, people who know him like we do. And think
Right
Charles
now,
Conwell can beat anyone.
Charles Conwell is a problem in that division. We've said it.
There's nobody that they can make a fight with at 154 that I'm going, oh, Charles Conwell's definitely going to lose. No way.
No one.
There's no one. I'm not saying I pick him against every guy in the top 10, but I'm thinking about it. And I'm definitely saying he's beating everyone in the bottom half of the top 10. And you started getting into the top 5, and I'm like, he might be a fucking boogeyman, and he might have the style to do this because he's fucking good, man.
What if we put the Maloika on him like we did Tim Tszyu?
I mean,
And
if we put the horns on him, then if this Charles Conwell gets beat soon, then we got to stop bigging people up that we
at that
like
weight,
and keep it between
we
us.
we can't talk about anybody at that
No,
weight.
not on the air. We
No,
only
we
between
we
us.
we might be the 154-pound mush.
Yes,
Who put
yes.
the
We might be the Eddie Mush of
Eddie
154
Mush of 154?
of junior middle.
I, I think they're gonna make that fight.
I think
I
if
think
you
I think because I think Fundora's window of marketability is too
let me
short.
ask you a question: Is
Sure.
Charles Conwell a floater or is he a PBC fighter?
I don't know.
I don't either. There's another thing. If he's not a PBC fighter, I'm calling it right now. This name changes in the news this week. I said 14 days. By next show, there's a Fundora opponent, and
Dude,
it's a rematch with fucking Edison. It's a rematch with who? Remember, I kept calling Erickson Lubin Edison Miranda. I just
mhm.
almost did it right now again. I caught myself. They'd rather Erickson Lubin run it back before they put him in with Charles Conwell, unless he's PBC in house. Now you're talking turkey with me, Brendan, if he's a PBC fighter. Because they go, well, either way, we got an American star. The difference
I'm
with
doing my Google.
Fundora is he's a Mexican American with bilingual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But either way, whoever wins that, you potentially have a guy there that's a star in America at 54. And now Conwell has a belt and is a nightmare for anyone at 54. It's win-win if you're PBC with that fight. But if he's not, no way. We're gonna hear Erickson Lubin. We're gonna hear Charlo, the small one.
Yeah.
That's gonna come in.
See the other one? What he did?
The one that fought the higher weights.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, I can't. I'm not being funny when I say this because you and I don't like them as people. I can't keep up. So,
He just pulled out of a fight with Cornflake
oh, we say he's fighting Thomas Lamana a
and he
couple of
pulled
weeks
out.
back? Yeah, I mean, they're like now trying to keep up with Broner and like
Right.
who's gonna die first. And I'm not saying that, guys, in a mean way or I want it to happen. I'm talking in spiraling. Like Tank is spiraling.
Like Howard used
Broner
to
is
have
spiraling.
the death pools, right?
Yeah, the death pools. Like you want me and B to do a death pool on one episode that's boring? We got five guys, and I got people whose money I'll take $25, and Bill, you'll love it.
So
Um,
it's managed by Mark Habibi, Wise Owl Boxing,
yeah.
and I see that they put shows on. So I don't know.
So he is a floater in terms of big promotions, meaning he's not with one of
Let's his manager, yeah.
he's not with. So it's our impression that he's not with Eddie, he's not with Oscar, he's not with Heyman, and he's not with um what's
Al
his name?
Al Heyman.
Didn't I say PBC
Oh,
or Frank Warren is
right, okay,
who else
yeah.
I meant? Didn't your man? I just scrolled his name. This is totally off topic. Didn't your man, Sir William Skull? Didn't he
Oh wait,
get a
no,
fight?
Conwell's a Golden Boy fighter.
See, no fucking way. No
He signed with
fucking.
Golden Boy last February.
We remembered. We text each other. He said thank you to Oscar for giving me another chance. Now I'm gonna get the big fights. We wrote each other. Oh, good. He signed a deal with somebody. We didn't care who. We just wanted that kid to have a promotional unit.
You don't think so?
No, I'm not saying that they can't make fights. I'm saying Charles Conwell can and will beat him, and motherfuckers that know boxing know that.
Hmm.
So unless it's gone belly up to the point where there's such dimwits at PBC, which
Hmm.
is really fucking possible, that they let Charles Conwell come from fucking Golden Boy and spark out their fucking guy at 54, because no other demon at 54 is with them. I mean, I'm saying Jesus Ramos, that kid Michael Soro,
Okay.
or Erickson Lubin are names to get. No fucking way.
I think Erickson Lubin just had a fight fall out.
Even more of let's run this back. The first one was arguably not but a fight of the
Fight of
year.
the year, yeah.
Both guys went down. Both were hurt. Um, both guys can't defend the big shots.
Yeah,
I
he's got that
believe.
scheduled.
Um, You know me, I have this soft spot in my heart for Erickson
I
Lubin.
know.
Thought that kid was going to be a star. Thought he was going to beat Charlo, got sparked out. He built himself back up, he looked good against Fundora. He found the openings because that idiot doesn't fight tall. He fights small, as you said. So talk to me. Are you standing on that now that you just found out new news? Golden Boy, I think it's
Yeah. Yeah.
either a 3 fight
How the
deal
fuck? Yeah.
or a 3 year deal. I don't know which one it was. I could be wrong, and it might be a 5 fight deal or a 3 year deal. Charles Conwell, guys, is fucking good. And it ain't a lot of motherfuckers that
Just says multi-fight deal.
look. This is who is there, guys. Bud, Madrimov, Fundora, Bakram Mortalazayev, Virgil Ortiz, Sergey Boachuk, Tim Zhu, and then Ramos and Charles Conwell. I think Charles Conwell is better than Jesus Ramos.
Me too.
Right now, ESPN has it flipped. I think, look, once you hit Boachuk, those guys above him, I'm okay with that. They've proven it. I actually think Charles Conwell is a better fighter than Sebastian Fundora, but I understand why Fundora is ranked higher.
Conwell was a DeBella guy.
So we can ask good old Lou about him.
Hmm.
Eddie Hearn has told The Ring that he's spoken to Oscar De La Hoya and Eric Gomez about Jay Apatite, Zordo Ramirez potentially happening as part of the Matchroom Golden Boy 5 vs. 5 this summer for the Ring Magazine World Titles and WBA and IBF and WBO. WBA have now officially ordered Zordo to defend WBA and WBA titles versus Juniel Dorticos next.
Yeah, I saw
The
that.
Ring understands that this fight is likely to happen in the upcoming months rather than an immediate unification with Jay Abatai. I don't like that at all. I'd rather be stripped of the titles and know who the real guy is. Fuck them. Fuck the WBA and
Yeah,
WBO. These are the two best guys. They just are. Sorry.
right.
The division's not deep. It never is. It's always top heavy. It's usually so top heavy that there's
Crazy.
one guy.
Dorticos has made like a comeback.
He has. He
Like
has.
we didn't hear about him for like years.
Like 3 years. You
All
didn't
I
hear
heard
him.
about at that weight was him,
Me
and then
too.
and what Maris Bredas,
Maris Bredas and Dorticos were like the names you were hearing before, and then you were like, okay,
and then Usyk.
Usyk
Like,
decided to move. Right, he ran through everyone, but then when he went up, I was like, oh, these guys are going to be names again. But Bredas just got a little bit old, and I forget how old Dorticos is now,
oh, he
or
got no, it was
Dorticos.
he got knocked out by Gassiev in the tournament. That's what it was.
Oh, right, Gassi was a
And
goon.
and the Bredas fight was like nip and tuck. He lost a majority decision to
Because
Bredas.
that's what, well, me and you thought Bredas was such a goon because of those fights. He's
Yes,
just a goon.
yeah, he's got really good wins, Dorticos. But yeah, he
He does. He does. He does.
speaking of Edison, he beat Edison Miranda. Um, the Gassiev fight, yes, that was a TKO. Gassiev stopped him. I think,
Gassi
yeah,
good too.
yeah.
B. So here is a retread of what we were talking about. Me not knowing what Aram's talking about, and me not knowing who is being honest in a room full of thieves. Is there honor among them? And there isn't. So who do you believe in this pool of people that just lie as part of their job description?
Right.
Turki Al Sheikh has declared that he wants to make Teofimo Lopez versus Boots in October on the same card as Garcia versus Haney rematch, which we can describe what's going to happen there. Guys, if you go, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't even know that was made. We'll tell you. He would like to match the Garcia versus, he would like to match the winners and losers against each other in February. Love that.
Love that.
Love that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Very cool. Teofimo Lopez has revealed that he is currently in discussions to potentially face Richardson Hitchens in an IBF and WBA super lightweight world title unification fight before moving up the challenge booth. So there's
Yo,
3 bits of
all
information.
right. Bottom
Talk to
line,
me. Do you believe Bob? Do you believe Turkey Yellow Shaker? Do you believe
well,
Teo?
so
Go.
so Bob says what? Bob says no. Bob says we don't know what Teo wants to do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I just told you
yeah.
about.
Right.
for three.
Ah,
No, he literally said nothing, but
yeah.
we don't know what he wants to
We
do.
we offered him a fight. He
Yeah,
doesn't want to fight.
he had like
Hey,
five
Famo
or six
Lopez.
vodka crayons and then
Right.
cut a promo.
Right.
Now go.
So he Teo just signed with a new manager. So I think what Teo does is they go, all right, here's a sketch, right? We got Jaron Ennis here. We got this person here. We got that person here, right? What if we did Richardson Hitchens? You can beat Richardson Hitchens. You can beat that guy. We're confident you can beat that guy. And then what we'll do is we'll we'll have you fight this guy. And Bob will be down for it because we'll just pay Bob his percentage and he won't even have to promote it. We'll leave it up to Eddie to promote the Richardson Hitchens fight. We'll leave it up to Riyadh season and Turkey and that whole thing to promote the Boots fight. Eddie will, promote that fight as well. And we'll do this, we'll do that. And I think Tio just goes from that conversation of just a sketch, right? An
Hmm.
outline to
Hmm.
Twitter. You know what I mean? I'm fighting Richardson Hitchens to unify this belt. Then I'm moving on to Boots. Then I'm not working with Bob anymore. The takeover is real. Something, 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 racist. This. I'm leaving it to the hands of God, my dad, and my new manager. Correct?
Yes.
That's
He
essentially what Teo does.
I saw a brand new racist one with the thing about Bud. And I'm not fucking saying it on air.
I didn't see
I'm
it,
just
but
not.
yeah, it's not important. But
Not the N-word stuff when he was calling him the other thing from before.
yeah,
He's sitting with two black men and says that in front of them, and they don't do anything. They should have given him a beat.
Tronum fucking baiting.
Threw him a fucking beating.
So I think Teo just yaps.
Okay, let me. Can I throw something at you and then
Yeah.
throw it back at me? Because I like where you're going, and I don't disagree. So I'm not even asking you
It's like,
something that's
like
off the
I
wall.
think they have a meeting and he walks out of the meeting and he's just like diarrhea of the Twitter fingers.
I think his brain is like when they show Homer and it's just hitting the symbols.
The symbols. Yeah. It's the
Yes,
monkey with the symbols.
hitting the symbols.
Yeah.
You cannot make all these plans contingent on him beating Richardson Hitchens.
Right.
I don't fucking know he wins that.
No,
And
and he
there's a
looks so
fight.
inconsistent.
There's a fight that seems to be made, B, that we're getting into. I think it's next or two down our news that has to be won by someone that I don't think is going to be won. But we're going to get into that.
Okay.
But I don't think that this Teo is a lock to beat this Richardson
I
Hitchens to
don't either.
get to Boots.
But again, so that makes Eddie and Bob have to work together, right? For Hitchens Teo.
Well, we have to have this has to happen that we didn't bring up yet. That you hit me up to talk about, and I didn't respond. Not to be rude, but I was just going to write. Let's keep it for the air. B, can I jump ahead to then jump
Yeah.
back?
Yes.
Guys, Boots Ennis and Stan Jonas is now happening. WBA and IBF welterweight world title unification fight on April 12th at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The KOTB boys might be making
Might be.
a weekend out of that, not
Yeah.
just a night.
We got the drop on that 2 or 3 weeks ago.
We
I had
did.
mentioned it on the show,
Yes,
and we thought it was going to be Wells Fargo.
we did. We were
It
hoping
look
it was. We were
it
hoping
looks
it was
like
going to
it's
be.
AC.
It's looking like AC, which is amazing because B and I have had a longing for AC to bring
Sure.
back boxing. We heard some rumors from people that are in the business, not friend of a friend of a friend. We heard it's coming back like 2 years
Yeah.
ago, and it didn't.
So I was when Boots fought. Why is his name escaping me? The guy that beat Rashidi Ellis.
He Boots fought what's his name in
At
um
Boardwalk Hall.
yes, but he also fought what's his name in AC. He could fight a little bit. Mikey Garcia sparked him clean out. Nasty,
Oh,
devastating knockout.
the
He's he's,
kickboxer.
he's kind of like a mean machine, but not mean
Yeah.
machine. The fuck is his name?
This is
He could
driving me
fight a little
nuts.
bit at
Yeah.
47.
He's
He could
got a
fight.
he's got a a fight.
40 or 40. Oh, does he really? Why
Yeah.
can't I remember his name? He fought everybody. He fights anybody. He'll fight anybody.
Oh, Jesus
But
Christ. I have to
Mikey
look it
did
up.
him dirty.
It was
Have you seen
I'm
Mikey?
talking about Romain Villa, and
Um,
you're talking
yes.
about Lipinets.
Sergey Lipinets can fight. Have you seen Mikey Garcia in the past
Just
few?
today,
It looks like George Lopez. Exactly.
my man's been eaten.
Yeah. Look, got away with all his marbles, got
Right.
a few paydays, and he's eating. And he's part of that.
Lipinets is fighting Adam Azim
Yes, who's very good, which is we're
on
going to get
February
it.
1st.
Adam Azim's really good.
All right. So listen,
I don't look, you have to assume that Boots beat Stanionis. We were big on Stanionis and then hit a fucking wall with him. And we go, I don't know about this guy.
injuries.
I don't know about this guy. So Boots has to be, they're relying on two things that they think are gimme. You think it's a gimme that Richardson Hitchens from Brooklyn is going to get beat up in New York by Teo, who can't
Right.
show up half the time, who look like shit, and I think lost to Jermaine Ortiz
And
and
Boots
against
and Boots, who we criticized about
in
how he's
November.
how
We
he's
just
looked.
saw him, guys. We were 10 feet away. We were at press row in November. He got caught a lot with clean shots. He's
And it
uh
wasn't like it was a huge layoff. He
no.
had just fought in July,
And we were just there.
and we were at
He's
both fights.
fresh. That kid does not live dirty. I'm in this city. He
Right.
does not party. He goes to church. Him and his dad are best friends. Their family's close. You do not hear, I'm telling y'all firsthand, not just from living in this city, from people that work with him every day on every level. Boots is a good kid as a person, a human
Right.
being, and how he lives. He lives and breathes boxing. He doesn't cheat. There's no cheat meals. He does the road work. He lives in the gym. There's no drinking. There's no none of that. There's no partying. There's no, yo, I heard he was da da da. This isn't Iverson that you could go out any night and might see him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then the next night he put up 60. So I never cared. But anyway, look, guys, there is no saying that this plan falls into place. They think T.O. beats Richardson Hitchens and that Boots beats Stanionis and that it's just a fucking fait
I mean,
accompli that fight.
I'm picking Boots to beat Stanionis. I just
So
don't
am
think
I.
it's a gimme.
I'm picking right now. That fight happens right now. Boots beats Stanionis
Agreed.
and gets hit sometimes.
Right.
I have no similar energy when it comes to Richardson Hitchens' tail.
Me neither.
That's right now before we dig into it. Right now, you have a gun to my head and I have to make Vegas. I'm calling it a 50-50 fight now.
It's a
Right
pick.
now. It's a pick 'em to me right now. That's just off my head, guys. Don't write me and say I'm
So,
nuts.
all right. This is why you can't get ahead of yourself with boxing. But with that said, um, that's interesting. And again, I just think a lot of what we hear about Teofimo from Teofimo is, hey man, what about this trajectory we could do? Vinny, you're in the entertainment business. How often did, when you were still a touring musician,
Yeah.
how many times was where we could do you want to do like the Southwest? Do you want to do Europe? Do you want to do this? Right?
B,
Eh,
I was a touring musician. It just happened to me a couple of days ago. Do you want to do a blank?
right.
And
So what?
things are put in front of me still, even though
Right.
I don't.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, you also didn't rush to Twitter and go, so I'll be touring in
Never,
in New
never,
Mexico,
never,
Arizona, Southern
never.
California, and then come October, I'm coming to Europe.
I've signed paperwork and didn't go do that, meaning it's going to happen.
Right,
It's done.
but what I'm saying is this is what I think Tio does. It's like,
No, you're talking about like
see,
along with the racism, someone who clearly has some
impulse control.
ADHD
Yeah,
and
impulse
impulse control
control. Right.
problems.
So
I
it's
mean,
like he'll just hop on Twitter like, "Fuck you, Boots. See you in October."
yeah,
And
yeah.
Boots Ennis is like,
Huh?
"What the fuck is this shit?" And
Right.
it's like, you know what this shit is? The
Yeah.
takeover. You
I
know, and
haven't.
it's
Hey, how about this? How about this? So I don't like him as a motherfucking human. How about this? I think this Teofimo has a two, three good fights in 2025.
okay.
I think he pulls out a year of fighting for like two or three good guys. I'm not getting
Okay.
into win or lose, But I'm getting into like, yo, when is this guy gonna start fighting people since it's been since Loma in the fucking in what? The bubble?
Yeah.
And
20,
then
yeah, 2020.
yeah, and then Josh Taylor. So in 5 years, he's fought two really good guys,
Yeah.
and I don't even want to know the number of fights since 2020. You can't fight
I
more than
can't
six
believe he,
times.
dude, he fought Josh Taylor's almost 2 years ago that fight. So then it was a lackluster against Jermaine Ortiz and a lackluster against Steve Claggett.
So he's fought
And
twice in 2 years.
he fought twice in 2024. He fought once in 2023. He fought twice in 2022. He fought,
By the way, to me, all that's unacceptable as far as
right.
where you're at in your career and age. I'm not talking about Canelo fighting twice a year. That's different. This kid is still a
He got
kid.
22 fights,
That
27 years old. All right. So
moving on, right? Or
moving on,
no?
I guess. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I mean, we
It's
we could probably stay there for a while,
right.
but we just
Did
don't
we really?
know.
Yeah. So we don't know, guys.
No, because we don't believe anybody. You have three people saying three
Three
totally different things. So
different things.
you
Right.
you take your pick who you want to believe. Bob just slurring about something. Teo saying I'm fighting this guy, and Eddie saying this is going to happen, or Turkey.
Turkey. Right.
Rayo Valenzuela will defend his super lightweight world title versus Gary Antoine Russell on the Tank Davis Lamont Roach
It's
undercard on
nice.
March. I like it a lot, and I like it a lot.
A
I
lot.
like the pressure that they're putting on other people to make cards better because people are like, you want me to pay 100 for X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z, but over here it's $19 and it's 8 good fights. Nah, I'm good. So now they're forcing it. And I've heard about two other potential fights on that undercard, and they're both solid. Not great, but solid.
Cool.
Um, Look, man, I guess I just have to keep saying this the more it looks like it's fucking real because it just is what it is. Canelo Bud Crawford is reportedly now in the process of being finalized for September in Vegas. Fight will take place at 168 for Canelo's world titles there with no rehydration clause. Canelo's going to come in at 200 pounds, 190. It's my prediction. 190, 185, 190.
I don't think that'll do him well.
I don't either. And I wouldn't come in at 168 if I was Bud Crawford. I'm just throwing that out there. Not everyone can disagree with me
What is he
because
like? I wonder what Bud like what he weighs because
walks around
he's
at.
a little guy.
I'm gonna say Bud walks around at in between 175 and 180, but cut. Like no gut gets put on.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And then once training camp comes, he doesn't have to cut that.
Yeah.
He might start cutting a little bit before. It might be 165 at the start of, you know what I mean? And got down to 54 for the other fight. Canelo walks around at like 200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't get. By the way, guys, I don't mean he's fat. He's
Mm-mm.
a stocky, like baby
Bro,
boy.
big boy.
You know what I mean? You see him out and about and stuff in a suit, like it's a big kid. 5'9" and 200. Oh man, that's fat. No, no, no. It's a,
Yeah.
it's a big boy.
It's a big boy.
I say he comes in at like 185,
That's like an NFL
190.
running back. Like, that's
Yes,
what they're built like.
yes. That's what he's built like.
Hmm.
Look, B doesn't like the fight at all.
I don't.
Um,
It's strangely this is what boxing does. It is like growing on me, and I went from pure disgust to now I'm just like the realization. Like, what is it like? There's denial, there's acceptance, there's like
Bud
the
Crawford
stages.
wins this fight. Does it change in
Oh, I thought you were making
retrospect?
a pick.
No, in retrospect, do you go, I didn't like that fight. Now that it happened and Bud won, this did something for him historically.
Yeah, of course it does.
So you think he gets he's Amir Khan, basically. I've seen that comparison. I don't know where people get that with Bud's chin.
I
I've
don't.
seen not he's going to get knocked out. I've seen the exact words. He's going to get Amir Khan.
No, I don't think he'll get Amir Khan. I just think it's going to be with Bud, who is a hard puncher, right? And
Yes.
and gains respect from guys. I
Yes.
think when he hits Canelo, much like Triple G, when Triple G hit Canelo, and you watch Triple G's face go, wait a second.
The same way I watched Canelo's face go, wait a second, when he landed on Triple G.
But I think we kind of knew Triple G had this granite chin. He was almost this mythical sort of guy.
He's gonna look
I thought Triple G was going to flatline Canelo.
when
That was
he
my pick.
when we do an episode, we did the pound for pound because there wasn't a lot going on. When we do the our top 15 or top 10 or top 20 fighters, it's gonna be a good
Yeah.
episode. When we do our top five greatest chins, like I'm saying right now, I haven't thought about it. I'm saying G is in for me.
Me,
Like right
yeah, and
now.
Canelo's
Yeah.
in for me.
so so
Like,
two modern day fighters are already in, and we haven't
right,
even fucking thought about David Tua
right,
or
or Chavallo,
or
or
Chavallo.
yeah.
Or yeah, we haven't
So,
even thought about that.
so what I'm saying is, we've seen got big boys crack Canelo.
Yeah.
You know, look, I'm going to go ahead and say most guys at 68. This isn't speaking of skill,
Yes.
but the fucking beats that Bivol put on Canelo,
Yes.
that stops most guys at 68.
I
Those that
I
level
would I would say if there was 100 fighters at 168 that went up to fight Bivol in that exact fight as
at
Canelo,
light heavyweight,
I'd
right?
say at 75, I'd say above 90 of them get sparked out
Sparked
by
out,
that exact Bivol on that exact
and
night.
he just sat there and ate rapid fire
Just ate him,
machine gun punches
ate
to the
him,
face.
ate him like burgers.
Um,
Who was it? Wimpy who liked the
yeah,
burger?
oh yeah,
I'll
I,
gladly pay you for a
yeah, I
burger.
gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger
He
today.
eats shots like Wimpy eats
Yeah,
burgers. Yeah, I agree with you there.
so I think
But
Bud,
let me throw something else at you. Let me throw
sure,
something else at you. Is Bud now he's 38 yet? He's definitely
37
30. At
September.
37, as good as Floyd
Excuse me.
Mayweather was when Floyd fought Canelo,
Oh,
which would be about what was that now? 13 years ago? Was that 2011? 2012,
12,
11 or 12.
12.
Okay. Right now,
Fuck, man, we're talking about long careers.
Bud Crawford against that Floyd Mayweather at 54. Who do you pick? This
35
January?
year old Floyd versus 37-year-old Bud
Sure. 2025 Bud, 2012 Floyd Mayweather, 54.
at 54 Bud.
He
I'm picking Bud. Someone else asked me, does the Pacquiao that cut through
You're
Cotto
picking Bud to beat.
Floyd Mayweather?
I thought you meant Canelo. I said, you idiot, that you don't want this, you still don't want this fight. So you think Bud gets stopped by Canelo? Because now it's gonna happen. So now we got
I
how
don't
many
know. I don't
months?
know if he gets stopped. What I'm
We got
saying
eight
is,
months, my friend. We got 8 months, my good friend.
all
Let
right,
me ask you
so
one more, one more, one
hold on,
more.
hold on, hold on. So someone just posited to me this yesterday. Does the Pacquiao that cut through Cotto beat Bud Crawford at 147 pounds? And I said,
No,
no.
no, no.
I'll bet you there's a lot of fighters that disagree with us.
Okay, I want to hear from our people we personally know. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ask them too. I'm gonna ask our other guys because we have people. Um,
So
yeah,
that's how high I think of Bud. I just think great big man
beats great little man. I don't think right
because it's
now
not
Canelo is
really
great.
because it's not really two
You,
divisions.
you,
It's
no,
really
it's
three
three.
divisions.
It's three. Let's be fair.
Because
It's
yeah,
three.
I don't
It's
think
three.
Bud's really a
And guys,
54 pounder.
Canelo is a real 68 guys.
Correct.
He went through the division, so you don't. I don't want to hear that he's small guy. He went through a division, all
But
four of them,
right.
and more.
And
And a guy that
and fought at those catchweights for a while as he was
yes,
building himself.
making his way there.
Yeah.
Brendan is right. He is a 147 guy going to 68. He's not a 54 guy going to 68. He is correct there. Let me just add one more thing or question for you.
Sure.
I don't think it's a question that Canelo takes a fight in May. Do you?
No, he's going to take a fight in May.
Does Bud take a fight or does he wait all this time?
I think Bud takes a fight too, and I think Canelo's going to fight.
What does
Really?
Bud do? Fight a guy at 60 to go up one
Yeah,
more and try?
yeah, or someone at 54. But I think that Canelo's going to fight Billy Crossbones, aka William Skull.
William Scar.
Skull. He's a skull. Um,
And stay away from him, Billy, because he can punch or no? Just,
He's not
just
fighting M. Billy. Not if this Crawford fight is going to get made. There is not. Skull's not good. Like
he stinks.
I thought Shishkin won that fight.
No, he stinks.
Stinks.
You don't think you don't put a guy in like in Billy who is
Who could
who could
upset the
crack.
apple?
He
Who
can
could upset the
absolutely punch. We're not
apple
going to
cart?
get into skills. He hits like a mule. We both know
Right.
that. The other
So
stuff,
I do think Bud fights someone. I think Bud will have a fight and then they'll set it up. I think maybe they'll do if hey man, who's guiding the career of Bud now? It's Turkey, right?
yep.
Who do we just see at the Ring Awards with Turkey? Canelo. I think they'll Bud will be a co-feature on a Canelo card in May.
So we get the Cinco de Mayo weekend and Bud and they co-main. Well, of course, Canelo's more big. You
Yeah,
know,
right,
no Diddy, but that's hardly a an undercard. It's a co-main in theory. Let's
correct.
say to
Yeah,
build the fight. My question there is does he go to 60 to build his way
I
like
don't know.
do you grab a guy at
Or maybe
60?
it's just like we just have a weird, like a kind of weird catch weight with the
Yeah,
guy who's smaller.
yeah, 158.
So they'll find a 47, 54 pound tweener and do that at like 60.
I Before we go to the
And
next
now, what
week,
if, let me ask this, what if Bud beyond 54 just looks soft and doughy? What do
not
you
gonna
think then?
happen. Gonna look like a fucking machine.
It's going to look like Conor Ben?
Gonna He's gonna look like fucking Ultimate Warrior 80. He's gonna look like a fucking
Like
how
Conor
about
Ben?
this? He's gonna look like a fucking Lex Luger, Four Horsemen era Lex Luger. Uh-huh.
All right. So,
Um, yeah. Hey, um, that's gonna happen, guys. The bag is too big. It's going to happen. The last thing I'm gonna say, and I guess it doesn't need to be discussed now, but I want to throw it at B and our faithful listeners. I do not come in anywhere near 168 if I'm Bud Crawford. I come in around 163 for that fight.
and try to just be as agile as possible.
Yes, and by that I do not mean the Mayweather plan. I just mean intelligent movement, but pop, 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 out.
Going
And
to have to be a rabbit.
so okay, we did speak about Boots and Stanionis. Albert Puello is set to defend his WBC super lightweight world title versus Sander Martin on the Boots on the Tank Lamont Roach undercard. That was the other one I meant to say. I like that because
Yeah,
me and you like Sander Martin and he can
sure.
fight and he'll probably maybe win and then get hosed because you can't do anything
Right.
with a guy from Spain who looks white that doesn't speak English and he
Yeah.
doesn't speak Spanish that we do over here, hood
Right.
Spanish. It's all proper.
Mhm.
So I don't know, but I like that fight. Uh, I always butcher his name, so do it for me. No Diddy. Lawrence Oakley. I say it
Okoli, yeah.
wrong.
Okoli.
Lawrence Oakley versus King Kong Ortiz is reportedly in talks
At
to
Bridgerweight?
potentially take place at heavyweight clash in the UK.
Okay.
You know me, I'm as much of a
Okoli
sucker
looked like a fat tub of
a
shit.
fat tub of shit, and probably Ortiz does now. Because now Ortiz, we usually say is what in his early 50s. He's probably 61 now.
He's 63.
I think I hold this weird place in my heart for
Collecting Social
Luis
Security.
Ortiz. Yes, he's checking pension. I have the same thing I have for Eric
Luis
Zagrubin that I do.
AARP Ortiz.
Luis Ortiz, when we're on episode like 500 and we do a what if episode, a guy like Salvador Sanchez, who died at
Right.
23, a guy like Edwin Valero, a guy like, a what if episode. I think Luis Ortiz, what if he was more disciplined? What would have happened? Luis Ortiz is and was a better fighter than Deontay Wilder and got stopped by him twice. So what if? Huge what if to me. Thought he
Right.
was tremendously skilled. Jokes aside, we do believe him to be way older than he says. He's nearly fucking 63. That motherfucker's every bit of 50, though. I'll tell you that.
Sure. Sure.
That guy is 50 years old. Eh, eh, eh,
How old does he say he is?
He probably now says he's like 41, 42. Because we were cracking up when we would call him 37 and 38. We were like,
Yeah.
this guy look his kids all look older than me and you. B. He's one of them.
I mean,
Remember and Don't Be
no,
a Menace?
I just put it into Twitter
And
and 15 hours ago, someone writes 80.
89-year-old Luis. I love that we're so on top of things. No Diddy.
89-year-old Luis Ortiz ready for all the smoke with Okoli.
I like that some people understand the Cuban thing.
It
You know
says
what I'm saying? That when you get
it
out of
so
there,
the next thing is how the fuck is Luis Ortiz still fighting? Uh,
what's his last fight?
I don't
The
I,
Andy Ruiz.
I don't
Remember
know.
that? It was New Year's Day
Yeah,
night.
that
You know what I
wasn't his
mean?
last fight.
You
Yes.
sure? I thought it was.
Jesus.
That was like that was like the New Year's after COVID. You know what I mean? Like fresh in it.
It was
I
right
think.
when we started the show. It was right after the show.
Oh wow, we've been doing this a long time, man.
Yeah.
I think it's been fun. So it's flying by.
He fought he did have a fight. Francisco Cordero he fought in
I'm assuming he
last
won.
January.
I'm
Yeah,
assuming he
not first round
won.
knockout, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
So yeah. There's nothing to come of that, right? If you're either guy, except try to be a guy like I'm always right about, and that's Big Baby Miller, where you're like, I don't think this guy can come back, and then he
And he
somehow
comes
gets a
back.
fucking shot.
Yeah.
Maybe whoever wins this, B, they put in with the guy that everyone thinks is great, that I don't, the kid from the UK. And that's a nice little
Moses
bag.
Tama.
Yeah, do you put maybe whoever wins this, you're in line for that kid because they think he's great. Lastly, Turki Al Sheikh has now officially confirmed the first Ring Magazine USA card in May. This is what I said I was going to get to later, guys. Ryan Garcia versus Raleigh Romero. Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Martin Bacoli versus F.A. Ajagba. Guys, dangerous fight. First fight back from a fucking beating. And I'm not going to say washed up. Past his prime, Jose Ramirez. I have no problem seeing him beat Devin Haney. I don't know that I'm picking him, but I have no problem seeing that.
Right. Let
He
me
can punch, and I'm done dancing around. Well, I never danced around it,
no, you
but
didn't
people
yet.
would say, "What did you?" No, people's argument when I said Haney's chin is trashed, was trash, is based on what? And all I had was, um, what's his name? Who was really, really good and over the hill
The
when he fought
Venezuelan guy.
Jorge Linares.
Linares, yeah.
Had him done. If there's 30 seconds more
Yeah.
in the ring, it's done. But what I know is Keandre Gibson had him out cold, and Bill jumped up and
Yeah, well, we had inside info, but
right. But what I'm saying is the fans can just not believe me. I look at
Ramirez
this kid
just looks
go,
like hot shit in his last fight. He fought Aaron Barboza.
look, man,
Um,
I don't think Ryan Garcia is good, and he just dog walked, and I don't think the Ostarine helped that. This is all just my opinion. I think he should be in trouble.
I don't
I think he should
disagree.
serve this. I think that all happens. I think that left hook still keeps landing. I think Haney can't get out of the way of it, and I don't think it made him
And
hit any
bro,
harder.
what about like confidence? Like this guy took your soul. Who
Oh, something I meant to that I didn't even tell you yet, B. So I've mentioned that I have someone that's very tight with certain camps, and I can't give away the job that he does because it's a very singular job, meaning it's not something that 20 people could do. If I
right, right.
say it, you'll think it can be figured out. I have someone who does a job for a lot of people, mainly the Chavez family, considering um, senior,
Mhm.
because he's so famous. You know what I mean? Still, he's still a god, especially in Mexico. But Chavez Jr. is still pretty famous on his own, even I
Sure.
don't know how. He does some of the same work for Ryan, and because of that, he's had in person, personal exchanges with the Haneys. And Thursday night, when I was in the lab, I got a text from him. Should I find it?
Yeah.
Again, this is not, what do you call it? This guy that knows him, this is someone that is a real friend of mine and has given us scoop on this show before that played out, by the way.
Okay.
Like, yo, blank is going to happen. And then it happened. And it's from this person. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
can't break trust because a lot of it is like him telling us someone's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want that to risk his job. You know what I mean? I'm in the lab just working. Okay. He's out of state, my friend.
Okay.
I just look at my phone. Haney's are fucking cunts. Me, arguably the worst humans on earth. Like father, like son, both crybabies. And then he went on to, how you doing, brother? But he was dealing with them when things would pop off. You know what
Right,
I'm
right, right.
saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
for reasons I can't explain. And says like, yo, they're really like feminine, like they're not about shit. Devin's really like a spoiled little kid. Like this
Right,
is not the things that his haters say. I'm doing air quotes. Like it's all true. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like one thing, I don't like Ryan Garcia. I never saw him. Correct me if I'm wrong. I never saw him try to act like he was some sort of hard like jail dude, which is like definitely what
He kind of
Bill.
does. Yeah, he does. Like he was, and then it like falls apart. Like you were saying last week with Connor
When
Bell,
it,
like you do something, you do something.
yeah, but
But
see, I think when it falls apart, it's so fugazi that I don't even entertain
yeah,
it. I
okay.
don't say
Remember
like,
when he was like code switching and like changing the way his voice sounded in like the Haney lead up? He
yeah,
was
but I
like,
think that's like Druga. Like then you're getting some other shit. Like I think that's
okay.
him being unhinged. Like if you were telling a casual friend of yours about um Ryan Garcia, one of them would be like he's a wannabe gangster. It wouldn't be for me. It
No,
would be
it's
for
just
it would
I
be
would
for
say like he's a cornball boxer that was an
like,
ID guy.
and Bill is one of those examples of people me and you know in real life got some time and somehow thinks he's Al Capone.
Oh,
Like,
forget
bro,
it.
you're just dumb and did some time.
Yeah,
Like it
I
wasn't
had to come off the
people.
streets and do this, and I'm in the
Right, right.
streets, and
It's like my
I was in
guy.
the streets. I was at. You're reading your
My
own
guy.
press
People will
clippings, guy.
slap the shit out of you, dog.
Right,
People,
right,
I know nerds who never were in the projects that will slap the shit out of
right.
you.
He
Stop clinging to that. You know
he's
how
lu-
many jail
he's
people
he
me and you know be?
right. He's lucky Bernard didn't snap his neck.
Really? Like, there's a Bernard Hopkins in a parallel universe that did. Like that happened in a parallel
Right.
universe. Because Bernard is about that, bro.
Sure.
You know?
He's just
And the time, the
he's just
place Bernard did
slightly
time,
younger than Luis Ortiz, so
yeah,
he doesn't want to.
the place Bernard did time in, you don't, it ain't no soft time there. B. Like the
Right,
hardest place ever.
right. Of
Bill could have
course.
done soft time, bro. I know people who did time to the pussy. They just did
Yeah,
something dumb.
right,
Jail doesn't make you hard, bro. It makes you dumb.
right. I don't know what Bill's background is. I mean, it's according to Bill, he's an Oakland street legend.
Okay,
You
he's
know,
not. He's definitely not a street legend.
right.
Was he on the streets of Oakland? Possible. I could put someone on the Zoom right now from Oakland that'll be like that guy's a clown. Right
Right.
now, I could hit it. We
I
could
don't.
send this Zoom meeting,
We don't. I don't even like harping on these two idiots that long. But that Bill Haney
and he's fucking
he's
insufferable.
insufferable.
I don't know that. I don't fucking know. There's Ryan Garcia. What if fucking Raleigh clips him? He punches like a fucking
Right?
retard. So I mean, I know that word is rough to some people. My apologies. Don't cancel me, guys. But I mean, I've seen him hurt guys before, and Ryan's chinny. So like, are
Right. I
we
was just
fucking
thinking.
100% sure
Right.
if of these two fights?
You know, it'd be
Um,
funny.
is there some respect here from both of us that
What
these guys
if?
are both getting in
What
there with
if?
guys
What
who
if they
can?
both lose?
That's brilliant. Then the fight goes on. The only
Right.
thing that can upset the apple cart is one of them loses.
One and
They
one.
both get sparked out. They just run it
I
back.
think that. Look, I'm interested in Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero because Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia go back to the amateurs,
Correct. Little
and
kids.
they hate each other.
Correct.
So I'm interested
This was reported to be Ryan Garcia versus Pitbull, by the way, up until today.
today.
Up
Right.
until tonight, we were going to report Ryan Garcia, Pitbull, Devin Haney, Jose Ramirez. That was
Right.
going to be our
The
report.
Haney Jose Ramirez fight has no. There's no like interest in that.
Well,
So
wait, what do you mean? There's no intrigue on a guy that you and I, not
no,
talking
like I
about.
just don't think there'll be a good lead up. I don't think it's going to be.
Okay, but the fight, he's chinny, bro. You believe it in your heart. I
Oh,
know
he's
you.
chinny, but I don't think that uh, Ramirez is like a big puncher. Also think Haney, if he's saying he's going to 147 pounds, right?
Correct.
Bro, he's not a. He was a big 35. He's a small 47. He's going
We
to
don't
get his.
know that yet. We don't know that yet.
I've been in places where he's not a big. Some of these guys you look at, like we talk about Julian Williams, J
Yes.
Rock. You're like, how the hell
Yes.
does this guy make 54? Man, he's
Yes. Big
huge.
motherfucker. Yeah.
Devin Haney's small, dude, and his
I'm
shoulders,
just,
his
I'm
shoulders are
just
not.
that. Well, then what you're saying is not helping your cause for this not being interested, bro. Let's think about
Oh,
we now
I don't think Jose. I think Jose Ramirez is so far past it.
after.
Every time Jose Ramirez gets hit, his eyes roll in the back of his head.
What if Arnold Barbosa is happens to be good? Then is that loss is crazy? It went 10, bro. Look, think of the run that
Yeah,
that
Ramirez had a hell of
Ramirez
a run.
went on. Antonio Orozco, Zapata.
Yeah,
And guys, don't write in telling me how many losses these
yeah,
guys
but
have. This is 8 years ago. Some of these fights.
right. But what I was gonna say was with Ramirez,
Hold on, Maurice Hooker was good and
he was good.
undefeated.
Yeah,
Victor Postal was good and ended
I agree. I agree.
Josh Taylor fight. All right, it went 12. Jose Pedraza, Sniper Pedraza. I know it was 3 years ago. He still had some fight in him. Richard Comey, Rances Bartholomew. It always gives people
But
trouble.
all guys that moved up, they're all smaller guys. So,
So is Haney.
but the Rances Bartholomew fight, his eyes were rolling in the back of his head, and then that's when I'm telling you, all right, I
This is
think
what happens when you don't like people. I don't like Devin Haney, so
right.
I'm like, this is a dangerous
So
fight for
my
him.
thing is, I think they're carefully matching this. I,
If you believe that, then you
I
know what it's going to look like. It's going to look like Haney Cambosis. It's
yeah,
just at
it's going to look like
140.
Haney Cambosis or Haney Prograis, where it's just at 140, where they're picking guys that are either not good enough
Or
in
custom made for his style of jab,
correct.
jab, jab. And I'm so tall that I can keep you at the end of my punches, even though
Right,
I got no
but
zip on him.
he's shorter than Haney is shorter than Ramirez.
In
Ramirez
terms
is like
of,
5'10".
is he really?
Yeah, Ramirez
I
big
never
boy.
thought of that. Guys, that's probably in the
He's
history of the
5'10".
show the most news we ever had because now people are rushing to do stuff for 2025
Right.
and everyone's back from vacation, back from that. Everyone came back and then it snowed. So no more that first Monday when everyone was going to come back. So let's get into some previews, guys. There are fights. I like when there's Wednesday, Thursday fight. I love all that shit. It makes for a cool week. It's fun. You got something to do on boring nights. 123, which is Thursday, I believe. Eric Priest, who is 14-0, 8 KOs. Guys, we just mentioned this type of stuff because there are people we're kind of keeping our eyes on that could potentially be Pazzi prospects
As he
some
passes.
days. We don't not calling him that yet. This kid, Tyler Howard, he's fighting B, 20-2 and never been stopped, and both guys could fight that he lost to. So this could be something for this kid. It's definitely a test.
Okay.
We kept saying to each other, because we're so dumb, B and I, when whatever day they call the fights for Inoue, we don't know what that means because they say a day and we go, is that at night? Is that in the morning? So Naoya Inoue versus Joon Kim for undisputed at junior feather,
Okay,
12
so that
rounds.
I looked it up, and now the
It's
new
going
ring
to, because I know it.
2 a.m.
I saw 4:30 a.m., but it's definitely the morning of Friday, meaning,
Yes,
guys, if you
Friday
get
morning.
up Friday morning early to go to work, it will already be on. B will
Okay,
be getting
so
up
the
and it will be
the
on.
card starts at so the new Ring Magazine website
Yeah.
tells you the start time of each card now, which is nice.
Okay.
So and it's 2 a.m. 2 a.m. is when this card starts. So they'll
My guess is that's the prelims,
yeah,
and then
prelims
that
and
at
stuff. Yeah,
4:30.
5 o'clock. You'll start to get the main, and then
I
what do
don't
we normally see Inoue out there around 6?
sevenish,
Okay,
sevenish. I'm not
he
saying if you heard two, the
this is
sevenish
this is
might not be right.
knife through butter shit.
I'll tell you why, B, because it's a Friday. So what time is it going to be there? I don't have the math. I know Australia, I know Europe. I always know what time it is, but I never know where it is in Tokyo in terms of time. It's like 12 hours around.
Mhm.
So you're talking like 7 or 8 there. I don't get I don't know what they're trying to time it out. Look, Joon Kim, this fucking Goodman pulled out twice. He's still crying
Fuck him.
after that. I want this. This shouldn't affect me, he said. Meaning when the eye heals, he
He
should be
said
up
that.
next. Yeah, back of the line, dick brain. He's bitching
How do you
as we're
get
talking.
how do you get cut with headgear on?
Well, we know the answer to that.
Right.
So that's how you get cut. You
What's it called?
fucking you
What's
get
it called?
blading. He fucking Hogan against fucking he did the fucking Hogan against Flair in the
Yeah.
cage.
What you gonna do, brother?
But he did a fucking mid 80s
Bro.
TBS 6 p.m. Ric Flair,
Yeah.
the blade job.
Hmm. Dude,
What do you think? Naoya just walks through this
walks
guy.
through this guy.
Yeah,
I think he's going to try to get some rounds.
I like that
Um,
Naoya is staying busy with the Sam Goodman thing. Didn't get frustrated and say fuck it. Just book
right.
May for me. He's gonna fight 3 times, so he doesn't want to stop that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
he's
mean,
gonna
he
do
also went through a camp and a half to,
a camp and a half.
to get here.
So
So
you and I
I
believe.
think I think he'll wait in. I don't think it's going to be, like a first round Tyson Spinks type of thing.
Well, if
I
you believe that he's going to try to get some rounds in, he's been out, he's been inactive, be not his fault for him. He's fought recently,
Yeah,
but he fights off.
but I think he's going to, try to entertain a little bit, show some skill, make it fun for the fans, give them their money's worth,
Yeah,
and he'll fight this guy who Joon Kim, who goes by Packy Weather.
yes, which B loves.
Like you see that this
Look,
stoic look
guys,
on my face.
yes, there's no Pacquiao or Mayweather showing up Friday at
No.
7 a.m., guys.
So if you guys who have regular lives and don't aren't nocturnal like Vinny or wake up at ungodly hours such as myself for work,
If you're in Australia, you're good. This will be on at night on Friday.
right?
If you're in Japan, which, over there in Asia, you're good. If you're on the West Coast, you're
Right.
really fucked.
Really fucked.
It's
And
gonna be a Thursday night at like midnight.
yeah.
So you have like no 11 p.m. on the West Coast. If B's correct with 2 p.m. East,
So what are you picking for this? Are you picking a round where it just goes to
I
shit?
look, I
This
have to
guy's got
think,
2 losses and is ranked in the hundreds.
what you're saying. Does he carry him for the sake of a 50% entertainment, 50%? I need fucking rounds because what Turki Al Sheik and myself are thinking this year is big things. So dog walking somebody is going to do nothing for me with in-ring experience. In the ring, all the sparring, all the camps, nothing can duplicate being in there, even with a guy that's ranked in the hundreds.
Yeah.
The crowd in there live. Look, I think it's a concussive stoppage, but I think it goes 5 or 6.
Okay. I'm
I,
that's where
I
I'm
think
at.
he flails around. He shows some of his skill.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys like him that are so good, that are 1, 2, 3 in the world, their natural talent just sparks a guy out that he's not trying to. His corner can tell him,
Right.
drag this guy 3 or 4 and then dispose of him in 5. And he's just so good that he throws a combination in the third that the guy just goes down.
Right.
So will that shock me? No, I'm not calling for 1 or 2, but if it happens, it's because the monster's that good. I think he tries to get some rounds in. I think getting 3 or 4 good rounds in is good for him, and that he's out in around 5. But you know,
Yeah.
this guy's cooked. This Yi Jun Kim Perryweather, whatever he is,
Packy weather.
Pacquiao. During the day, guys, on um
Packy weather.
during the day on Saturday, um, I think you had it on Friday, B, but it's not.
Oh,
During
you're
the day
right.
on
It's on
Saturday,
Saturday.
Dalton Smith, who look, one of those guys that I said, B, these guys in the UK are hype over him. I don't know yet because you don't know until you know. Um, was it Zapata? What did he hit with the body shot
Yeah.
and stopped? Dalton Smith is 12-0, and he stopped somebody that's fought everyone. Zepeda fought 3 times for a belt. That's a 3-time world title challenger
Right.
and a very tough guy. That in that Baron check was it Baron check in the bubble where they traded knockdowns and it was fight of the year when it was
Yeah.
in. He could handle himself at very least. Okay, I'm not saying he's a former champion. He is a pro fighter that can handle himself. Fought for the belt 3 times, never won it. Fought all real guys, won some, lost some.
Lost to Jose Ramirez.
Yeah. Um, if Dalton's look, Waleed Awiza can fight a little bit. This is this is a nice little card. There's like 6 or 7 fights. This starts at 2 p.m. guys, East Coast time on the zone. Dalton Smith's gonna be on right now. This performance, he might propel himself into Pazzi prospects
All
because
right.
that win impressed me. But if you throw at me, well, I think Zapeda's washed. Okay, well, Walid Oiza isn't.
Right.
He can handle himself.
Right. So this is a good fight, guys. Tune in, 12 rounder. Uh, junior welter.
So,
Uh,
guys, we're talking Thursday and Friday with Inoue. Now we're at Saturday afternoon, and this is a long card. Starts at 2. Gonna lead us into what? Big Diego Pacheco, Steve Nelson at super middle
so cold.
168. I believe that you, much more than me, think much more highly of Diego Pacheco. Talk to me a little bit about this,
I
guys.
this
Steve
is
Nelson is 20-0 with 16 KOs. We have said to you probably 100 times at this point. We sound like broken records. Guys, 20-0 with 16 KOs is different when you do that and you go up in Philly gyms and Brooklyn gyms and
right.
fight on the East Coast or the West Coast, or you do it. Where is Steve Nelson from? Oklahoma.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska, where
He's
Bud is from. But
he's
Bud
they're best friends and training partners.
yes, this is
Yeah.
his guy. Guys, this isn't, in my opinion, a gimme for Diego Pacheco. Now, is that because I don't think he's that good? Yeah, I don't know. You tell me, Brendan.
Now I'm hearing things like Pacheco plays with so cold.
Plays with his
Uh,
food.
yeah. Beats him up bad, knocks him out. Um,
Wait, you've heard this from other boxing people?
yeah, that Pacheco's gonna
That's what's going to happen.
that's what's going to happen.
That's not what you're
No,
saying.
no, I think Steve Nelson is a he's not the fastest guy. He's not the slickest guy, but he's the guy that has all the fundamentals, does everything right, tough as nails.
Training with the pound for pound, not our pound for pound guy right now, but has been a lot over the
Yeah.
past
And that Bomac stable.
Yep.
Um,
That all can fight.
they can all
All
fight.
tough as
All those
nails.
guys can fight. People are now traveling to
Bomac.
fight to
Yes.
Bomac to fight at that gym. And
Yes.
Nelson, I believe, is like the coordinator for I think it's called like B&B Sports, is Terrence Crawford and Bud's, like it's like a full service gym, like a
Yeah, yeah.
and I believe because I follow Steve Nelson and we've talked on IG. Um, I
Let's go.
he's a former I believe he was in the army. He's like a he's like a jack of all trades kind of guy. He can do like construction. He's a mechanic by trade. Um, and he's a fine boxer at 168 pounds. Um, Pacheco is a huge, massive prospect. This is a guy that was discovered, I believe, in Washington State, and after he was discovered in the amateurs, they brought him to California
Yes.
to train
Cor-
and live. Um, so he's dedicated. He lives the life. Uh, he's one of those guys, and you don't see this too often. You see this with huge prospects. I think Vinny, I've mentioned on the show, where guys are paid to train. A promotional outfit will actually like have them like almost as an employee, so they don't have to go through the things
Yes.
like a lunch pail guy like
Well,
Steve.
you and I know some people that
Correct.
did
So
that.
like Steve Nelson is a lunch pail guy. He has a job,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. And
and
these fights, nice little payday added to that job. You got a
right.
good job and you're in the union, and then someone throws you, I don't know, 50, 100, 150K. It's a nice,
Yeah.
it's
Oh yeah.
nice.
Forget it. I mean, but Steve Nelson's 36
That if you look at it right on paper, what jumps out at you? That he's 36
with
and
20
that
fights.
and that being from Omaha, Nebraska. You know what I mean? Of course, there's Bud there, guys. But let's be real here. It is a hotbed, guys. Like let's not take what Bomac
Right.
and Bud have done and start saying that this is the fucking new
Right.
hotbed of boxing. It's not. People
But
are going there to
but,
train there.
but Pacheco's 6'3".
Yeah, he's a big kid. Like you said, he's a
Nelson's
huge 168.
yeah,
He'll end up at
Nelson's
75 or bigger,
sure.
eventually.
Nelson's 5'10".
He's fucking. I don't know what to tell you, B. He's very fucking up and down, in my opinion.
Pacheco.
I don't. You know,
I mean, he stopped Sulecki in his last fight, but that's Sulecki moving up.
look,
Okay.
that's his best win, and Suleki's tough as shit, bro. And he
Yes.
stopped him. I said leading up to it, bro, this guy just went 10 with Sean McCollum. He should have mopped him up. He should have
Right.
packed him up, get him out of there. And then you look like before that and you're going, all right, how old is this kid versus who has he been in with? And then you
Right.
go 23, and me and you are getting very sensitive about age because we go, this fucking tank is 30 already. You just
Right.
said Teofimo was 27 tonight. Do you know how old I thought he was?
How old?
23.
Mm. Well,
So he's already, like
he
I said,
fought
I think
Loma
he's,
four plus years
no,
ago.
I
Yeah.
know, bro. But when you say that to me, I go, where is time going? It's
Where's
not
time
your
going?
fault.
Time is a thief.
It is the great thief. I go, what? COVID took 3 years away from our lives.
Hmm.
So there's 3 years right there where I go, oh, he's 23 or four.
I,
But when you,
for some reason, I don't think very highly of Pacheco. Maybe
that bullshit, I said that before, and you were like, nah, nah, nah.
no.
Before the Sulecki fight, and I said he can lose this fight. I think I said upset special because that's how little I think of him. You were telling me I was bugging. Do we got to go back to this
We should go
episode?
back. We should go
All
back to
right.
that episode. Let's go
All
back to
right.
that episode because from Jump Street on this, I haven't thought that high of him because he's such a huge prospect that
I thought when you were just saying it now, you were doubling down, meaning he's a huge prospect, meaning that means a lot, meaning like he's deserving of it.
no, I'm no what I'm getting at is everyone else is saying that and I haven't seen it.
Upset special.
I said that last week on the show, by the way.
What?
That this was I picked an upset special for this fight.
Steve Nelson beats this guy clear and gets fucking
Gets
hosed.
hosed.
Steve Nelson makes this motherfucker dig deeper than he's ever dug. And he's fucking hauling off on him. And this fucking Pacheco gets the nod.
Hmm.
116, 112 on all three cards. And this Steve Nelson wins and gets jobbed in Vegas.
It's hard to disagree. I think. All right, I'm going to pick this. Now, I hope we don't mush him, Vin.
Well, you know that.
I think Steve Nelson does enough to win a majority decision.
Ooh, maybe a
Okay.
draw, and then he wins two cards 115, 113, 115, 113,
Yeah.
114, 114.
Right. And
Okay, okay.
but I think the cards are more reflective of your assessment. So they give it to So Cold. It's a Rocky moment.
Mm-hmm.
He yells for his Adrian, you know, and
Uh-huh.
Rocky 2 moment. And then they run it back.
Ah, I'd
Ah,
like to stand on mine and say they run it back, but if he gets the dub, Oscar's like, out of
out
here.
of here. Nah.
See, you're 36. I'm not
Mm.
giving you another shot. Look,
I mean, there's a chance Pacheco it lives up to expectations.
I just don't see it, B.
I
The
haven't
same way
either.
you
Didn't
never
no
responded
remember
to me.
no remember I said he's like lackadaisical. He doesn't remember I talked about this. He doesn't seem to have the fire. Remember I
But
said it on this show.
that does ring a bell, but I kind of thought you were saying he's got all the tools, but this guy's got to find the fire. Where I'm like, I don't see that it thing that we see
Right. I
sometimes.
don't either. I think he's got the build. I think
And
he's
you've
got
never
what
said
they
to
want.
me, you've never responded to me saying that about Moses Itoma. You just always move on to the next thing. You've never said you're wrong, you're right, or I don't know yet.
I don't know yet about Itoma. I I I did read through
I mean,
our
they are horny for him over there.
so
They're
dude,
talking real guys next.
you can't see it, but we got mail about Itoma.
Okay, it's probably hate
Because
mail.
remember, no, remember we said
Yeah, but you suggested it not just be a mail; it should be hate
hate.
mail
Well, you said it.
aimed.
He said maybe people hate me. I said, all right, send us hate mail.
You wanted vitriol aimed at me because you're a bully.
And
Look, as far as I just want to say real quick, B, 36 years old, Steve Nelson, regardless of who he's fought, has 20 fights and 16 KOs. He can crack. You
yeah,
just don't get there if you can't punch.
right.
So that's there, but he's 36. And a huge thing, guys, with this. The only person you might even know that he fought was DeAndre Ware, who
Right,
fights everybody but gets beat by real guys.
right,
Other than that, and then hey, really, Suleki's the only guy that Pacheco fought. And that is
right.
look, it looks impressive, but B said he did his best work at 160 when he had real tough fights with him. And I think in those 6 rounds, Suleki had his moments.
And 54 Selecki for that. I mean, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
but I think he had some good moments
sure,
against
yeah.
like
It was a
first three,
perfectly placed body shot.
but there were little chopping right hands that he was
Yeah,
throwing B that were landing. I'm
yeah.
not saying I had him up or nothing
Right,
like
right,
that,
right.
but
I hear you.
I'm saying this guy can fucking hold his own, the Sulek, and he's a goon.
This is a bit. I think this is a bigger step up than people are leading on for Pacheco as a
I'm
23-year
not
guy. The
even
way that
hearing it as being looked at. Man, they're
it's
I'm
just
not
me and
even.
you.
It's just me and you.
Everyone else is saying he's going to beat the shit out of Nelson.
Guys, we're both calling upset specials, but with different results.
Mm.
I think, okay, we both scored it. We'll both be home that night because we don't do shit anymore except watch fights and text each other.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll both score it. I think Steve Nelson's going to be more than this guy can handle him, and there's no fucking way he gets the decision. No fucking way.
All right.
And B and I agree that if he doesn't get the decision, no way do they give him a
No.
fucking opportunity to run it back.
No. Uh,
Someone's running it back with someone who shouldn't, and I have mad respect, and I can't remember it right now.
huh.
There's a fight that someone shouldn't have won, and they did, and they're running it back. And I said it on the air. It's upcoming. And I was
Oh
like, that's
shit.
dope. I know. And you were like, yeah, that's dope. It's something that shouldn't have happened. And I'm like, he deserves that fight again. Oh, it's the British guy that we say is a lunch pail guy with the kid
Oh
that's real
yeah.
the kid
Ben Whitaker.
Ben Whitaker. He's real like over the top.
Liam.
Like with the
Yeah.
he's
He's
like a
fighting.
Jorge, he's like a Jorge Paez. And this
Yes.
yes, that they're supposedly running it back.
Right. And the guy was yapping, and it was like,
And they're
I'm
like,
not
bro,
gonna.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Shut the fuck up. If you want to fight, shut the fuck up.
What is his name? Liam. He's a
Liam
man cute.
Cameron?
Yeah.
Liam
Yeah.
Cameron?
He's a
I like
man
that
cute.
guy.
I like him too. All
I like
right.
that guy.
So we got on this card
My guy,
Andy
Andy
Cruz and
Cruz.
Omar Salcido. By the way,
Omar Salcido is good and
he's
only
good.
lost to Chris Colbert, who was like fighting well at that point. I think we think Chris Colbert's cooked.
Cooked.
Yeah.
So it's a lightweight 10 rounder for like a regional belt.
Yes. It's like
10.
it's like the Latino da da
Yeah.
da 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 da. It's the look, it's a Mr. Perfect belt. That's B's favorite guy.
My
So I
favorite guy.
thought
Um, I think Cruz shows us who he is here. I think this is just going to be a runaway victory. I don't think Salcido has enough to compete with him. Even though Cruz has just a few fights there, moving him fast.
4 fights, guys, 2
He's
knockouts.
a little wild, Cruz. We
As a
see this
fighter or a human being.
fighter.
I
He's
think
all
the
he's a high
I,
energy guy.
I think it's that has to do with his is he what Omar Salas guy?
I don't know.
He needs to calm down. I don't think it's I've seen that knockout in his last fight
Hmm.
is Andy Cruz where he should be
Right.
and settling down. They need to contain that energy. Andy Cruz, in my opinion, would let's say for a second, Abdullah Mason didn't exist. Andy Cruz, just on those 4 fights, would have been my prospect of the year.
Prospect here.
I don't know if the last time in his 4th fight, because this is going to be his 5th, I named him as a Pazzi prospect because I don't have one for tonight because Eric Priest and Dalton Smith aren't there.
Oh, dude, Bozienis trains Andy Cruz.
Yeah, he's in Philly all the time, all the time. I don't know who's in there that speaks Spanish because I said to you I gotta ask Greg Hackett.
Right.
Yo, Greg, who is helping Andy Cruz? Because Greg's helping him too. That's his man.
All
So I
right, so
gotta
let's
ask
see what
Greg.
happens. This is going to be interesting, but I
Guys,
think
Andy Cruz is special, guys. Andy Cruz is
yeah.
special. These guys that got moved fast, guys, that become Alexander Usyk,
Yeah, the
that
Eastern Euro
become
guys and
Lomachenko,
Yeah, and the dude,
It only happens with Eastern Euro guys and Cubano guys. He's special. B said he's a little bit with the nervous energy. They have to get that under control. Salas can. I don't remember right now if that's his trainer. I think it is, but I
I
can't be.
thought did we just say Bosie's his trainer?
Yes, I meant when he
Oh,
came over.
oh, gotcha.
I know that he's in Philly, training with Bozy for his camps. I don't know. I don't even know if when they're in camp, maybe Salas comes.
Hmm.
It stays around because I'm like I said, there's not a huge Cubano population here. It's
Right.
Boricua, Dominican, and I'm wondering who in that gym, because Bozy and Boots, that's a black gym. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
Yeah.
mean by that. It's just
Yeah.
a lot of black kids. They're training there. There's not a lot of Latinos in that gym. So I'm thinking, who in there? Who's with Bozy and Boots that's fluent? You know, because I'm thinking of everyone that's in there. I know a lot of guys, and Greg's over there a lot. I'm like, "God, Greg don't speak Spanish. Boots doesn't. Who's there? Does Omar come in as a second big? It's possible.
Hmm.
I can ask Greg. I can ask Greg Hackett.
How do you
Uh,
see in this?
I think Salcido's pretty good, huh?
Yes.
10 rounds. Is he finding his power, B? Is he doing the um Everslandi Lara?
So he has it's every other fight.
Right.
So it's his first fight, his debut was a 10 rounder. His second fight was a 10 rounder. Third fight was a 10. They're moving him fast. There's no
I'm
4 and 6
telling you
rounders.
guys, I don't know if anyone's believing us how fast this is to be fighting Omar Salcido in your fifth fight. This is close to as wild as um what's his name in Lomachenko's second fight. It's almost that crazy.
No, dude, Salcido stopped Chris Colbert.
Yes.
Yeah, he lost to Jose Nunez.
Yes.
All right.
I
So I I think I think this is going to go the distance. I think he's going to go 10 rounds. He's comfortable going 10 rounds. He's done it.
he can go 15. So if you're going that way,
Yeah.
don't have no
I think he's gonna win a decision. I think it's gonna be close though.
everything indicates that Salcido has a chin on him. But I went over it one more time before we recorded tonight.
Mhm.
He hasn't been in there with a killer. I'm not calling Andy one yet, but he'll short circuit somebody like Lara will, and then he'll box him for 10 rounds and another
Right.
one. Where is he at? Okay, so if he's with Bozy, what is boot style? What boxer puncher probably?
Yeah.
If you had to describe it in
Sure.
old school way, what is he? A
Yeah.
boxer puncher? Most likely it's a lopsided 10 round decision in which Andy Cruz shows the fucking world who he is this quickly. In his fifth fight, holy shit, this guy beat Salcido, who only had one loss
Right.
against a tough guy, and beat a Chris Colbert, who at that time people were looking at. Now we saw him get sparked out a couple times, and he's cooked. Guys, I'm telling you, I think Andy Cruz is special.
I
So
concur.
watch this. Also on that card, Ernesto Mercado, 16 and 0, 15 knockouts. What else can you ask for, guys? You know, wherever you think he's at, or whatever you think his skill level's at, when this guy hits you, you go down. He's fighting Jose Pedraza, who got dog walked by Keyshawn. Other than
Yeah.
that, he never got dog walked other than Tank.
No.
B has expressed concern about Jose Pedraza. I believe when we covered the key fight, B, that you were like, he's got to stop, Ben. I could be wrong.
Yeah. So
I think you
I
were
had
mad.
this wrong. Oh no, I have it right on here. It's a junior welterweight fight.
Yeah, 140, guys. And Pedraza did all his best work at 35. All of
Mhm.
it.
Guys, I don't. Yeah, it's
But am I wrong in saying that when we talked about Key, when Key did him dirty, Keyshawn Davis,
yeah.
I remember you saying, Vin, he's got to stop.
He's got to stop. So it's
Guys,
his.
by the way, he was really good at one point.
Yeah.
So and he's still a name for Ernesto Mercado in terms of a scalp. So if you're wondering why this is happening, he's a name. He's fought everyone. He's fought Tank, Lomachenko. He's fought everyone, guys. Keyshawn, these are all
He
stars.
was a he was billed as a true ambidextrous fighter when he
Yes, and
first
he
broke on the
fought
scene.
like one, and there's some performances that are really good.
Really good. He was a
And
he
we're
was a
not talking,
big lightweight.
yes, guys, and by the way, B isn't writing him off because he isn't good. He thinks he's taking too much punishment.
I think he's taking too much punishment. Yeah, I
The
mean,
Keyshawn was really bad. If he even went the distance in that B and had this fight, I go, okay, that's good
yeah,
for
and don't forget,
Mercado.
I
That's
mean,
good for
he was a
Mercado.
130 pounder. That you know what I mean? He lost to Tank at 130.
Yeah.
So I just think it's he was a big guy fighting fighting in a smaller division. I I'll be honest with you, I don't think this fight ends well for him either.
This I here, but if you are Ernesto Mercado, B, you gotta do him dirty. I hate sounding like
Mercado
that.
can crack.
He can, but you gotta show it's real. Because I don't know how many fights Pedraza has had. It's been a lot. Tank, I don't look at Keyshawn as a destructive puncher. He's been stopped twice.
Yeah.
Tank was a destructive puncher at 130.
Yeah.
So
I was there. I was at that fight. Tank bounced his head around.
yeah, yeah, he
It
looked
was
like
scary.
yes, he looked like a bobblehead.
Right.
Pedraza, for argument's sake, is a sturdy guy, and not along with just being
Right.
fought everybody, went the distance. Look, I'm not saying Lomachenko's a puncher, but he stopped real guys. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, I don't think this is great if it's lopsided and goes the distance. I don't think that's great. I think if
For
you're Ernesto Mercado,
you
you
got to
got to
you
do him dirty.
you got to knock him out. I agree.
Yes. I think he gets
At a
it
count
done.
lights. I think he's going to get it done.
I think he gets it done in 6 or 7 because I
Just going to say a
respect
seventh round.
Pedraza enough that he still got enough of those old school tricks in the book just to
Just
stay
so,
around for 7,
yeah.
not to win. You
I'm
know,
actually interested in this fight because I do think
I
highly of Mercado
I am too, and
um,
I thought highly of Pedraza for really most of
for a
his
really long
career.
time. Yeah.
So this is a really good litmus test for Mercado.
Sure.
This guy that only loses to the best. And B and I both think this should probably it. If something happened with the Keyshawn fight with Camp and blah blah blah, and he was convinced he's got one more in him, if he gets done dirty, B, people that love him and the sport need to go. Nah, we're not going to sanction you no more, my guy. We love you.
35.
Yeah.
So he's
If
been
this is
around
if what we think happens, let's hang him up. Great career.
36 fights. This will be his 37th fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good
Really
career.
good
Fought
career.
everyone. Had a couple paydays. You know what I
Yeah.
mean. You don't want to be slurring
No.
in your 40s and 50s. You don't want CTE. You don't. We know more about that than we ever have. If he gets done dirty, if he's getting beat up, I'd like to see that towel come in.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't need to he to show his like machismo or you know
Hey,
what I mean?
you know what, B? I'm gonna go one step further. I think it gets stopped by someone, meaning the ref or his corner.
Yeah, this is on the zone, guys. Right?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Diego Pacheco. Yeah. This card's on the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was I right?
Cosmopolitan
See,
Vegas.
the Eric Priest fight on Thursday. Is that the zone or Pro Box?
Oh, I think that's Pro Box.
Is Paulie going down there?
He's down there.
He's already there.
Yeah, he's back from Italy. Yeah, he's there.
So it's
Uh,
going to be him, Chris, and Jimmy Smith. They're really good. Those guys
yeah.
need, all right, let's get those guys the bag, guys, and get them with the zone.
Okay, let's see.
Let's get
No,
them.
that's
Yeah.
the Eric Priest fight is on the zone.
So this whole weekend is his own.
The zone.
No, Inoue is
Anyway,
ESPN
it's
Plus.
ESPN. Yeah.
So guys, we're going Thursday night, the zone, Friday morning, ESPN Plus, Saturday afternoon, the zone,
The zone.
leading into Saturday night, the zone.
Hey, did you know that the Ring Awards were on the zone?
I did it.
Yeah, you can watch it.
I might watch it.
Yeah.
Did you see our Saudi
I did.
okay, but did you see him on the footage via the zone? I don't mean just see him there.
No, no,
So when they're
no.
asking Usyk about
I
his year and what's Usyk's main guy that's always with him?
I know who you're talking about, but I don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
our guy is very close with him. So while Usyk's talking, our guy gives that guy a big hug. I said,
Oh,
we need the jet. Get
The
this turkey to send a jet.
send the jet. We're on our way.
Yeah. And
I
we need
I
to
I,
start.
I could go a weekend without drinking.
Sure, all right. We need to turn this Turkey al Sheikh and start calling it something as a promotional unit. We're going to start calling it Riyadh season, like the way we refer to Top Rank, the way we refer
Yeah,
to, we got
yeah.
to
We just
start.
call it Riyadh season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, hey guys, boxing's back. Boxing's back, and it's a long weekend.
yeah.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, B, how are you going to handle Inoue? Are you going to try to avoid Twitter and watch it when you
No,
get home, or
I
you
don't
just
care.
throw it on your phone?
I'll throw it on the phone. I'll pull the truck
Yeah,
up.
it's not a guy. It's not a guy that's a threat. So
No,
you
and
know what's
I'm
going to
not,
happen.
and I don't care about spoilers. I can get spoiled, and I'll still
Oh,
watch it.
oh, I know you don't.
Yeah, I don't, and I don't.
Oh, I know you.
Oh boy,
Oh, I know you. Let's
I,
see how many of these you can ruin. Thursday night, if I fall asleep during the
I'm
Eric
not.
Priest
No, I'm not.
card,
I'm going to stop
you could
talking.
do
What's
that one.
today? Today's Monday.
Monday,
Now
late Monday
Tuesday.
night. Yeah.
I won't speak to
All
you.
right. So, guys,
I,
Thursday night, Eric Priest card ruined against this Tyler Howard.
so I
Did
I
we
will.
pick that fight, B? We didn't.
No,
We just said, this kid Tyler Howard has two losses and hasn't been stopped.
yeah.
What do you have a pick, or are we just going to see what happens?
I pick an Eric Priest.
I'll pick Eric
Yeah,
Priest, and I think this kid's tough. How's that? I think I don't think I know it's his toughest test. This will show us what he's about, and edge him towards, man, maybe this is a kid we'll look after, or he just eked it out and he stinks.
yeah.
It stinks.
It stinks.
Yeah, so
I
this
got.
Eric Priest has got to put on a show, guys.
Uh,
14-0, 8 KOs. Tyler Howard never been stopped. That starts Thursday. That's when Beal starts spoiling. Will definitely ruin Inoue for me in
sure.
the morning because he knows I'm still up. So he'll go, "Did you see that?" And then I'll yell at him and he'll go, "That's not a spoiler." So just get ready for all this, guys, next
Right,
week.
right, right,
We'll
right.
say, "Did you see
Wow,
that?"
wow. I'm gonna
That's
stop.
not a
I'm
spoiler.
gonna stop the show since I'm producing tonight.
Saturday,
If you
Saturday,
don't knock it off.
Saturday afternoon, Dalton Smith. I won't be up. I'll wake up to the spoiler of that. And then unless I pass out after I eat dinner, which I sometimes do, Pazzi takes a little night nap. He might be able to ruin that card too.
Pazzi takes it. Listen to this guy's life, by the way, guys. He sleeps all day, stays up all night, then takes naps in the
There's
middle.
all work going on in between
There's
that.
all work going
There
on.
is
Yeah,
lots of work.
it's called sending me pictures of his middle finger. That's what he does,
It's
and he
not
says,
true at
"Fuck
all.
you."
That is a
So I
lot.
won't talk to. I will refrain from speaking to my friend
Mm-hmm.
starting Wednesday. He gets cut off. So
Guys, all he has to do is say, "Are you watching this?" But he refuses.
I
So
refuse.
right.
So I
So
just won't
that's
talk to you.
all.
All right. So we got
We got
mail.
mail because Billy Betts is just fucking run down.
Life beat this kid down.
Right.
Living under a bridge is tough.
It is.
Eating beans right out of a can is
Bindles.
tough. Bindle sticks.
We've been giving him bad bets,
That
or he doesn't take them and
right.
blames us. You never texted me. I'm like, you're the gambler. What do you?
Right.
I'm gonna
That Bindle stick life
that Bindle stick life. Yeah,
has caught up with him.
it does.
All right, so we got our boy Louis Connick,
What up, Lou? Oh,
Louis the London cabbie.
uh-huh.
He
Is
says
he
great.
really a guy at London
Yeah,
Cabin?
yeah,
That's a
we've
great
read his stuff
job.
before. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
so
great job, I imagine.
Louis the lorry driver, I call him.
All right, in it.
And he says, "Greetings, gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed your holidays, uh, as you guys say over there, and that this year brings you health and happiness." Thanks, Louis. He
Thanks,
says,
Lou. You too.
absolutely loving the podcast. It's so enjoyable, especially when you guys clearly have so much love for the sport. We do.
We do, and thank you for listening, Lou. We
So he
appreciate
gives
it.
us a really. I'm gonna have Louis the lorry driver
Uh-huh.
do our rundown because this is
Uh-huh.
really well, guys. This is really well organized. He says, first of all, I want to start with Bud Cannell, and that's underlined, by the way.
Okay. So he means business, this Louis.
This Louis means business.
All right.
All
I hope
right,
he wears the fucking hat when he's driving the cab.
I like it. I
Uh-huh.
like it. He says, I don't really understand why Bud is taking this fight unless it's just for a bag. Is it too early to say what weight it'll be at? And also what belts, if any? We touched on that. So, Louis, it's going to be at 168, no hydration clause, and it'll be if the trajectory of Canelo this year goes the way I think, where he fights William Skull to grab that
Other belt.
other belt. He now reunifies,
Correct.
has the ring belt, and this is for all the marbles.
And fights Bud Crawford at once. The last time you've seen this, something this crazy, guys, was a retired Sugar Ray going up to fight Hagler.
Hagler.
This is that crazy. You have to be old enough like us to
Right.
remember. I'm older than B. That was 1987.
I was a little
And
kid.
most people said the same thing B is saying about that people are saying about
Right.
this.
Yeah.
There's intrigue there. It's why I don't understand B not liking it. I don't get it because I don't get what B thinks is out there for either of them.
For Canelo?
Yes, other than Bud.
David Benavidez. He just passed on that for the last 2 years.
It's that fight is not as big as this.
I don't disagree with you. You're right. I just think this is more of a circus act. And Ray Leonard had fought at 54 and was going to 60 to fight Hagler. And they were contemporaries, fighting similar opponents. No?
No, you're not wrong. Yes, yes, you're right. They were
But
kind
it
of
is
kind of
crazy that he
they
was
were
retired
kind
for
of
2 years.
yes, and he was retired, and a lot of shit happened because he had a fucking detached retina, and he didn't take a tune-up fight, which
No.
people don't remember.
And he had a booger sugar issue.
I mean, look, all right, a lot of people did in that.
Yeah. All right. So,
So did most of our favorite fighters from
right.
that. Marvin might be the only one that didn't, but moving on, Lou.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
no rehydration clause is batshit to me. To me, personally, just crazy to me. And it's a 68, Lou, and the skull fight that B's talking about is with the intent to reunify all the marbles, four belts, and Ring Magazine to go into that, which I don't get where B's coming from. Is it's huge, and the Benavidez thing,
huge.
he huge. Benavidez is not going down from 75. So why are people? It's that
Oh, no, it's
train.
it's over. That train's
It's
that.
over.
All right. So, Tyson Fury retirement statement.
Okay,
It is very
talk to us.
common saying over here in London, at least Dick. Oh, it is very common. It is a very common saying over here in London. At least Dick Turpin wore a mask. Basically meaning that someone is trying to rip you off or trying to haggle money out of you. I got it. And saying sarcastically, at least Dick Turpin wore a mask, meaning I can see he is a thief by wearing a mask and that you were just robbing me barefaced.
At least you have the ball. It's basically you had the balls to
Right, right. What I think has happened, which Brendan alluded to on the Pound for Pound show last week, was that Fury was thinking up a crazy sum of money for the AJ fight, and since has been offered much less sum for the fight, which he has refused, and said, "Fuck you, bruv, I'll just retire," which he said many times before. So, I mean, we don't know for sure.
no.
Louis just agrees with me
Uh-huh.
that I mean, Vin,
Let's be clear that everyone involved isn't sold either way.
right?
Everyone
But Vin,
involved, people that know him.
as a boxers are freelancers. Let's just call it
Correct.
that, right?
That's a great way to put it.
You lived your life as a freelancer.
I did. So do you.
If I do,
Yeah.
if you get offered a certain amount of money, that's your scale at that point.
Correct.
You don't go backwards.
No. Fuck no. Look, B, here's what I'm saying.
But the
And we don't gotta
scale was tipped.
it was tipped.
$175 million, I believe he got for two fights with Usyk.
Right. And you got a gazillion for the Wilder trilogy too.
Correct.
You
So
know?
when they said, "Hey man, we're only doing it in London," it's he's saying I'm still Tyson Fury, and this is still a huge thing. Let me
And
just
they're saying you just lost two back to back, my
right.
guy.
Let me just finish up his
Yeah, yeah.
Louis
Let's
well
finish up with
organized. Yeah,
yeah, I like this.
Moses Itoma.
Oh, here comes the hate from
It's great these bullet points. I just say the thing and then I read the body of
uh-huh.
the three paragraphs. He
Yeah.
says he's been talked about as the next big thing for British heavyweight boxing by Frank Warren and the like. It seems very similar to what Eddie used to talk about AJ in the early days. Obviously, AJ came in as Olympic gold medalist, of which he should not have won. That was
That's disputed. Yeah.
disputed. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel he got beat in the preliminaries by the Cuban Savon. I agree with Vinny on this one. I don't see anything special
Wow.
about the kid. He is a powerhouse and he's only 20 years old. The best thing going for him is that he has Ben Davidson in his corner.
Hey, it appears like he's a wrecking ball. So was Deontay Wilder, who I think he stinks.
I think Itama I shows more wrinkles to me than Wilder did. Um, Wilder was just like a very crude. Itama seems a little more
Oh yeah,
polished.
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely. Mosey Toma is more polished than Deontay Wilder. Yeah, yeah. I still think he's crude. Like, I mean, some of the knockout shots that land, I'm like that. No one should be getting hit by that shot.
right.
So what if your knockouts are by shots that people shouldn't typically be getting hit by? I'm like, what happens when they step him up, which they're ready to do right now? The names they're throwing around, I'm like, oh, hope lose to all of them. The ones we
Hmm.
did last episode.
Yeah.
I can't remember any of them now, but I remember they were guys that are like competent, meaning
Right.
like,
Anyway, Louis signs off. He says, "Keep doing what you're doing. It's great. All the best, Louis, the London cabbie." Thanks, Louis.
thanks, Lou.
We got another one from our just longtime listener, longtime writer, and our this
Uh-huh.
the future producer of this show, AV Julian.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
He says, "Peace, gang. I do agree and initially wanted Usyk number one on my pound for pound list just as well, but I could not help but remember what this is his response to last week. What the
Okay.
monster had done to Cool Boy, and not sure if I'm in the minority or flat out alone on this, but Crawford Canelo concerns me. I'm getting vibes very close to Benavidez Lemieux. I honestly don't like it for Bud." He says, "Am I pistachios?" What does that mean?
I don't know. It's like the Brit is AV Julian American?
AV
Is the
Julian, are you
pistachio
American?
is this pistachios line similar to the
Or
line of
I don't
oh, by the
know.
way, shout out to everyone from the UK who told me what that line meant with the everyone hit me up and told me on Twitter, B, because you're not on there a lot.
Which
The
one?
line that Fury said.
Oh, the Dick Turpin thing.
Yeah, everyone wrote me and told
Okay.
me, yo,
All right.
this is what that means. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. And like really broke it down for me.
Right. All right.
I don't understand the pistachio
Maybe
line
is that a typo?
unless he did it on his phone. Can I tell you that the more AV, the more you, the more everyone stands 10 toes down on this being a mistake, the more of a fucking boxing savant I'm going to be when fucking Bud 12 O's Canelo in
Are you really picking that like that?
8 months and it ain't close. It ain't fucking close.
Can I just say, I don't often hope you're right. I hope you're right.
It's not even going to be
And
fucking,
then
it's
where?
not even
Okay.
going to be, it's,
Sidebar.
yeah.
Where do we rank Bud then when, according to you, beats Canelo all time?
Yeah, you got the fucking this whole batch of people of who did he ever fight instead of going, well, he just fought everyone that he had to.
What do you mean?
Like
Whatever. Yeah. Who
everyone
did
they
he
put him,
miss?
but that's what I'm saying. Like, well, his resume, the Canelo, do you know Canelo cut a promo on him already? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Yeah, you only fought one good guy, meaning Spence. I mean, if you were to go along with that, which is complete a lie and bullshit, Gamboa is a great fighter. And undefeated, by the way, then. Now you see him getting knocked around, and all of a sudden it doesn't look as beautiful. It was. Postal was great.
Right.
Hey,
He was.
anyway, what was I in the middle of saying? What was I talking about? I completely lost track. Oh, his competition. It's like I don't. Who did he? He there was the best guy at the one weight, and he ended his career. Who
Right.
everyone thought was going to beat him. Let's see. Now you're getting into revisionist history. Everyone picked Errol Spence to beat Bud. He didn't fight anyone.
Right. He destroyed him. He murderized him.
But he ended his career, and I
I mean,
said it
look,
was all.
who did he avoid though? Like he was gonna fight Pacquiao. Pacquiao loses to Jeff Horn. He beats Jeff Horn, right? Uh, I don't know. I got no issues
B,
with
you're
Bud's
also
resume.
getting into people who don't know that Victor Postol was really good. That's
Right.
not our fault, B. How many times do we say on the air? It's not our fault if you
No,
look
the
at someone
only
like
thing I hear
Inoue.
about Terrence Crawford and the criticism is, yo, Gamboa almost knocked him out,
Yeah, I mean, he got Gamboa had real power at 35, and Bud
and
was killing himself.
but didn't. and Bud knocked him out.
Yeah. And Mean
He
Machine
wobbled him.
arguably knocked him down. And then what did Bud
Right.
do?
Knocked him out. So, all right.
But prior to Bernard, Tito would go down in every fight.
Dude, Oscar used to go down in every fight in the
Sure.
beginning.
Sure. But
Early in Oscar's career. And then he's
not come down warmed up, get clipped by a little
right.
right hand, go
And
down,
and
pop up.
Oscar's considered to have a granite chin.
One of the best of all time. And really, those
It's the same
stoppages.
thing they do with Canelo. They're like, yo, Miguel Cotto's little brother wobbled him. Like, yeah, when he was 10.
Yeah, he was 9.
And
Yeah.
he came back and stopped
And he
him.
came back and stopped him.
All right. Well, it was also like the knock on Cotto's beard, right? So Cotto would get wobbled and knocked down, and then in those early fights, he'd come back and stop the guy.
Yeah.
It's you got to just go, okay, this is what you learn from.
You have to get my blood boiling at the end of the show with this Miguel
Yeah.
Cotto reference.
Love Miguel Cotto.
The thing
I love Miguel Cotto. He has a great
is
voice. He speaks like this, and he says his name is Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto wants to fight Vinny Paz.
the consensus, no matter where you lean, is that Leonard Hagler was close. It's not to me, but the consensus is that no matter who you thought won, is Canelo Bud Crawford will not be close.
Interesting. The last letter we have is from Dave Perro.
One more thing, B. One
David
more. It's
Perro?
quick. It's quick. Who did better against Canelo, Floyd or Bivol, or even? Both like the same.
I think Bivol did.
Did
It's a
better
different kind of he stood there with a guy who was in his physical prime, who was trying to decapitate him
and did tricky things
and did tricky things. Yeah, I think with Floyd,
Stayed away a little bit.
stayed away and had a kid who was green,
Full
and
counted him all
and kicked his butt.
Yeah.
It's
gave him a lesson in the true sense.
right.
Gave
And
a young kid a lesson.
Bivol gave the prime seasoned veteran a lesson.
Canelo retires with 3 losses, and Bud's is the
Bud
most
being one of them. Oh my
Bud-
God.
And it's the most impressive of the 3.
David Perro says, okay. He starts off, okay, not. He says it says titles that Vinny hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Not very nice.
Then he says,
Not very nice.
Then he says, okay, not really. He says Itama is very raw and wildly untested at both amateur and pro ranks for all the talk about him being world class level. With that said, I do think he possesses the tools to potentially get that to that level in 4 to 5 years. They seem keen on moving him fast, but I do not think he is by any means ready for a Hergovich level fighter. I would love
That
to
was
see
one of the names, B. Remember last week, and I couldn't remember them? Yeah. Agreed, buddy. What's his name again?
David Perro.
David Perro. Do we know if he's from the UK?
He's from Connecticut.
Okay. Okay.
I would love to see him against a durable guy who will force him to work through the gears.
Me too, David.
Like Jermaine Franklin or your favorite Big Baby Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Even in all British prospect fights against Fabio Wardley might be interesting, but I doubt that is the direction they will go. Being from Connecticut, I know nothing about ancient Brits doing dastardly things, so I had to do research on Dick Turpin to try to make sense of Fury's latest retirement.
We were in the same boat.
Yawn.
We were in the same boat.
I think the meaning is one of two things. Fury is still convinced he beat Usyk twice, which we know is delusional, so he is again repeating that he was ripped off.
Right.
Or is a reference to the Joshua fight talks and the money not being where he thinks it should.
It's a I got robbed slang in British slang.
Right.
I got robbed. I got
Right.
hosed.
Right. Or if you're gonna, yeah,
If you're gonna do this, have the decency to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I think.
Either way,
You still might be wrong. even though
I
we've been
I
talking
agree
a
this
little more.
retire. I agree this retirement is short lived
Yeah, he's
and a
pumped,
ploy
man.
to pull him out of retirement against Joshua at a higher purse. Keep up the great work, guys, and I look forward to the analysis of some interesting cards coming up in February.
So
Thanks,
do we.
David.
Thanks, David.
Well,
B went to school in Connecticut. I spent a lot of time there. Good place.
Southern Connecticut State University, New Haven, Connecticut. If anybody knows it, I lived on
Shout out, correct.
Elm Street, and I
Mhm.
lived on Blake Street. I lived in between Beer and Platt on Elm, and I lived on Blake Street right near campus.
The best is when I showed Jan's wife where you live. She's like, "Oh yeah, we wouldn't go over there." And I was like, "Yeah,
when I lived on Elm Street.
yeah, remember I hit you?" And you're like, "Why
Yeah.
do you want to know?" I'm like, "I'm with my
Yes.
my man's wife went to school there." Oh yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We didn't go over this line that you like pointed to where you told me.
Oh, she went to Yale though, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's a
She's
totally
not
different.
slumming with you.
No,
Nah.
no, and there really is a divide.
Oh, I fucking basically saw it. She
Yeah,
basically explained this line on a map,
like
and I'm bad with map.
Yale is gorgeous.
It
Although
is.
you do have the green right there, which the Yale New Haven green is like Port Authority in New York. It's
Real close to the venue big that you went to many times, Toast
toads.
Place and Soda. Real quick, like me, Black and Correct made a
That's on
run. Like
that's
people
on
needed
York.
blunts
Yeah.
and what, and it was not
No, it's pretty
like
rough.
I didn't care because I'm from Philly, but I
Right.
imagine someone from out of town being like, "This isn't sweet."
They don't call it pistol wave in New Haven for no reason.
Right, right. Of
Uh,
course, it takes so much to. I literally had to leave the U.S. to be impressed by a slum. By
right.
impressed, I don't
Right.
mean impressed,
Right.
but I
Right.
literally did, bro. I had to see some third world shit being from Philadelphia to
Right.
really be like, oh my God, bro, this is wild. Because
Well,
the stories of hoods, I told you my ex was from Toronto. And we
right.
would, and she's like, all right, guys, we were in the tour bus. She's like, all right, guys, this is where it gets bad. And we laughed, and she was like mad the whole night because we were like, this is wild.
Right.
Like,
Right.
do
Right.
you
Right.
think this is like Hard Rocks here? Like, stop the madness.
Well,
Is there one gun here? Like, stop,
no. They have,
stop.
they
They're
have
like, we just like shoot at people here,
they have a
bro.
pea
Like over
shooter.
like Eagles games. Like there are people getting shot because they wore the jersey of the fucking,
Right.
you know what I mean? Who did we just beat? You know, they're mad at that. You know, like if you have a Matthew Stafford jersey on, you would have gotten killed this
You
weekend.
get marked out.
Yeah, you're getting stomped. You know, and I'm like looking through places. I'm like, that's nicer than my
Didn't
house.
they
What are you
didn't
talking
they
about?
beat up a Jets fan at a Cleveland Browns game and it was a kid? Like the Cleveland Browns fans beat up a child in a Jets jersey
In Cleveland, you mean?
in Cleveland.
No,
In the
I don't
Cleve.
know.
I think that
I
was a
know they did someone. It wasn't the Yanks, so it had to be the Mets. They stomped out a Mets dude at the Phillies game, but it's not even a joking one. Like
yeah,
the
no
dude's
that
like
I
mangled. That
like
guy's like mangled.
the San Francisco Giants and the Dodgers. They like kill each other at
Yeah,
games in the parking lot. Like they
yeah, yeah,
all right. That does it for this episode. You can
yeah.
find me at I underscore no underscore that underscore kid on IG, at the Killer B 24 on X Twitter. Which by the way, I after today's thing, I might log off of that. The guy who owns the thing is sending Heil Hitlers. I don't
You
mean to
are
make it
gonna be the not that person I know. Close. You're gonna be number three of the close people in my life.
that says I got to
It's
get off here.
gone.
Yeah,
Gavin's gone. Like deleted it.
yeah.
Scott has been gone.
I for the purposes of the show and to,
Honestly,
to touch the
you don't
fans.
do well enough on Twitter to stay. You're not active
Yeah,
enough. If I was you, I'd pull the cord. If
I
you were
might
on
pull a
every
cord.
day talking to
Right.
them, just talk to them on IG.
Yeah.
You're not on there enough.
Um, and write us at kotbboxing at gmail.com and follow us on IG at kotb boxing on IG. We are still working on the YouTube stuff, which is KOTB podcast. So
They,
preemptively follow us.
to get you angry because this all goes on um, off the show. When we say, Bill, people want it back on YouTube
Right.
and that talk, I've actually gotten a bunch. And I never say that. You know, I've told
Right.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
B, you never let a couple people sway you. You know, I've said that before with you because I know
Yeah.
through my music
Yeah.
career, I'm getting them. People want it back on
They
YouTube.
want it back on YouTube. So we'll
Yeah.
work on that.
We'll work on it, guys.
Where
B and
can they
I might
find you?
have to figure it out because Billy's bitching. Guys, I'm not leaving Twitter. I'm not moving that way. That motherfucker's not running me nowhere. Elon Musk ain't running me nowhere. Trump ain't running me nowhere. Fuck that. I'm standing 10 toes down so I can talk to y'all. But I'm not mad at these guys for living too, for leaving either, because that's their way of standing 10 toes down. There's two ways to look at it. I'm not moving. On Twitter, it's at Vinny underscore Paz. I am absolutely shadow banned by Musk because of his pro-Israel support. My number of followers in turn of my analytics are completely fucked up, and it's totally related to my longtime support of Palestine, not year and a half since October 7th, my longtime support. So I don't know how to get around that, guys. I tweet really good shit about film, music. I'm not like uh, a self-promoting guy when it comes to the music. If there's something new or new gear, I post it there with the link. But it's like mostly boxing, being funny, mad music, and movie shit. So you're not seeing my shit, guys. They got me shadow banned. I see my analytics, and I know how many people follow me.
Mm.
So if you're on there, you got to come look for me because they're trying to silence me in regards to all of the stuff I post regarding Palestine, which means you don't see the other stuff. I'm not telling you you have to share my politics, but I am telling you if you want to see the boxing and the music and the other stuff, they're blocking all my shit. Um, on Instagram, I posted some recent stuff that B shared. It was when we do the collaboration thing. It
Hmm.
was might have been Roy. It might have been someone's birthday. I forget who it was that I tagged you on
Yeah, a few
KDOTV.
things.
But
Yeah.
it's at Box Cutter Pazzi. I talk boxing there in the DMs, post boxing stuff, music stuff, whatever, whatever. The Knock 'em Out the Box shirts are still available at jmtstore.com. The grandmama starter jacket joints we did beat like almost all sold out on
Nice.
one day, and we didn't even. That was just when we sent it to um what's it called, our mailing list. It didn't even hit the general public yet. So
I like the detail on the zipper.
I like the zipper. I like the gold tooth, like it was grandmama on the.
Yeah.
So guys, jmtstore.com, those the Hornets flip. It's a raccoon, it's a JMT drawn. Um, we
It's
got
what
so much stuff
is
cooking.
that one of Sleazy's raccoons?
I wish it was. Maybe it is the one.
It's a yeah, it's a
It's a screenshot of his drawn up. Shout out to
yeah.
Shane and them for putting that together. But yeah, guys, get over there. They're running out quick. They're like the vintage starter jackets when we were kids. jmtstore.com. We'll be back next week. Hopefully Billy will be with us. And then it looks like we're in the midst of things picking up, guys, where we're gonna be doing
Yeah.
reviews too. You know what I mean?
And
So
I'll let you guys know where I'm gonna be February 1st because like I said, I want to promote my friends' places and I want to support them and you guys can help support them by showing up. And if you guys do show up at some of these places that I might be at in the next coming months, they'll do more events.
yeah,
So it
definitely.
kind of works that way.
Anyone's near me, I'm there. We're definitely gonna be at Boots and AC.
Hmm.
Um, if stuff keeps going, hey man, when is the tank fight? March 1st? That's at
Yeah,
Barclays.
I'll be there.
B's gonna have to figure out what to do with Uncle Vin's body after if I go. I'm not coming home the same night.
Now we'll get you a hotel.
My nieces will attack me if I'm trying to sleep in that basement of his. They're gonna wake me up,
Yeah, to jump on
jumping
your head.
on me. Yeah, exactly. I don't need that. All right, guys. We'll
All right,
talk to you
man.
next week.
All right, guys, take care. Say good night, Billy. Good night, Billy.